Some of the content of Patriots Unfiltered may not be suitable for all audiences. Listener discretion is advised.
The world's original podcast.
Welcome to Patriots Unfiltered.
In the 2024 NFL Draft, the New England Patriots select Drake Maye. North Carolina.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, welcome to Patriots Unfiltered, our special draft show, night 2. We're going to be in rounds 2 and 3 after a great night for the Patriots, getting their guy,
Great night.
Drake Maye. But there's a lot to talk about leading up to the draft. It actually starts at 7 o'clock tonight, but we've got a half hour to kind of go over all the things that have transpired since then. The Falcons pick with Michael Penix and the rumors that are going around Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and offers that the Patriots had to move out of 3. So we'll talk about all that leading up to the start of the draft at 7 o'clock. It's Mike Dussault, Tamara Brown, Evan Lazar, Paul Perillo, back from the prom. So
The junior prom.
yeah, the junior prom.
I just made it.
So opening thoughts, anyone?
Well, I think my opening thoughts would just be we got to meet Drake Maye today and talk to him here in the studio, which I think we'll play in a little bit.
Yeah.
And, was introduced on the field as is tradition. So, likable kid. He's got all energy. I mean, ours was probably the 50th interview he's done in the last 24 hours, not even, 12 hours? I mean, It was quick. And, Tabera sat down with him. We got to sit down with him. But he just had energy the whole time, and he just seems really excited. Last bit, I'd just say, brought his brothers with him and his girlfriend, brought them up onto the stage with him, and you can just tell how important family is to him and how much of an impact the family had on him. Paul had some great questions for him about it.
I mean, incredibly athletic family.
Yeah. I just want to echo what Deuce said. After meeting him today and seeing his energy and his rapport, I would say that's a guy I want to draft and develop and hope he's going to be, the franchise quarterback. He just had great energy. He understands, what he's coming into. He had great respect for what they're trying to do here, and he understands the patience that has to come with it. So, if you're going to draft someone and have to develop them, and you have to be patient, he's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys probably aren't aware, but I took him out back, and we already started working on a footwork.
Oh, okay.
You gave him the talk.
Show him a few things.
The Kirsch method.
Yeah.
These are the things that people don't understand, how many different layers that we're involved in with the organization.
Yeah.
They make fun of us, it's me especially,
I
because
know.
they call me a high-ranking. These are the kind of behind-the-scenes things.
Why didn't you
that,
fix Mac?
That's coming out of the content department.
Well,
Yeah,
this
why
new,
didn't you
new
fix
regime.
Mac?
No one asked me back then.
You guys did some
Good
ladders.
answer, Fred. Good answer.
Did you do the Brady drill?
No, we have.
No?
I had to
Outside,
tailor it
inside.
a little bit because he was in a suit still.
Oh, right.
But,
You don't want to rip it.
And
Right.
Jordans.
Look very fancy.
We might have to retire that Carolina blue tie after today.
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's gonna have to go.
We'll get him a new fit.
Patriot blue. Oh, we got some footage. There he is, right now. If you're watching on video, we see. It's Drake Maye and the Crafts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked how he, with his family, with his brothers, he said, "Hey, if you're getting me, you're getting all. This is my crew. This is my group, and we come together as a package deal." And I think that there's a lot to be said. Just talking to people today, I think this is a big thing for the Patriots, that he has a very athletic family. He's the youngest out of all of them, and he's probably the most athletic. Not probably, he is the most athletic out of all of them. And there's old theories, about that being the youngest out of a family of athletes, and how that can really get you to be very, very competitive and have to overcome a lot of adversity of not being the biggest, fastest, strongest kid at 8, 9, 10 years old, getting beat up on by your older brothers, and then all of a sudden the youngest tends to be the one that's the best out of all the group.
It's Perillo right there, right?
I told you. If I was allowed to play, I had to keep up.
Yeah.
And I was 4 years younger than everybody else that played.
I mean, I see it in my youngest son too. Like just the
35
looking up
years
to your
later,
big brother, wanting to
Hall
play
of
with
Fame.
him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
And
Boom, Hall of Fame.
Now defunct.
you learn from them. You see what they're doing. And
Set
you
it up.
see the mistakes they make, and you learn from that.
Yeah.
And also just seeing their success. My interview with him today, I'm just asking him just one of the life-changing moments that shifted him, and he said watching my brother hit a game-winning shot in an NCAA tournament game for North Carolina to win the title, like that is that type of stuff that he's been sitting in the crowd watching his brother win a baseball natty. So it's like he's not just watching like his brothers be athletic and playing games, like they're winning national championships
at a high level. They're performing.
Right.
Matt, do we have that interview? Why don't we play that? Why don't we play it now before the draft starts?
Sure.
Yeah. So this is Today with Us.
Third overall pick, Drake Maye. Drake, what have the last 18 hours been like for you since you've been selected?
Oh, it's been awesome. It's been a whirlwind. Just a lot of moving parts, a lot of unknown before the draft last night, and just one of the best nights of my life. And carrying over into today, here in Gillette Stadium, visited the lighthouse, kind of did the whole deal. Met Mr. Kraft and the whole yard. So just an awesome moment for me and my family. Glad I got to spend it with them, and just looking forward to being a Patriot.
After talking to the Patriots staff, it sounded like it was a no-brainer that they were picking you with the third overall pick. Did you see it coming?
I had a feeling. It was tough for me. You always, kind of in this process, you go to all these visits and you think you do well. You never really know. They never tell you because they don't want to, kind of show their hand. So I kind of had a feeling. Love this place and it's all about winning and working hard. And I feel like I fit right in and just looking forward to helping do my part.
You landed here in Massachusetts. You said you went to the lighthouse. You met Coach Mayo. You met the owner. And you got to see your new home. What was that tour like?
Yeah, it's special. I think that's the first thing that comes to mind. Being a North Carolina kid, staying in North Carolina, just kind of never been out of the state, and now kind of finding my new home away from home, and ready to build kind of the next chapter of my life and get it going.
When people are asked about you, one of the first things that comes up is your competitive nature. Do you owe that to growing up being the youngest of four?
Oh, I think that's a big part of it. Being the youngest of four, they're all 6'7" and above, beating me up, roughing me up when I was younger. So having to, live with that and playing 2-on-2 in the backyard. I was always, the last pick. Nobody wanted to be on my team. And then kind of from there, hit a late growth spurt and, just thankful to be the youngest. And, I'm the instigator. So that's kind of my role in the family. Just thankful to have them and have sports be such a big part of our life.
Drake, we're sitting in the very seats where fans will have the opportunity to watch you play out there at Gillette Stadium. What do you see as you look out there on the field?
I think it's special. First time in Gillette, come on out, one of the best stadiums in the NFL, in the best city. So let's go and look forward to the season.
Thank you so much, Drake, and welcome to New England.
Awesome, go Pats.
Okay, no disrespect to Tamara, but I was talking about the interview that we did, but that's all. We'll do that later.
We have time. What do we have, like 4 hours?
I know, but do we need to do back-to-back interviews?
We shouldn't do that.
No.
Well, when we run out of steam,
later
like
on.
9 o'clock tonight, we can
run it during the week next week.
But I admire how much energy he Tamara's interview. Then he came in here, talked to us, and it's always amazing to me. These kids' heads must be spinning after pro days, the combine, the uncertainty of the draft, all the rumors that, where you're going to be going, where you're going to be picking. Some team wants you, somebody doesn't want you. All of a sudden negative stories come out, and he seems like he's been able to block it out. And it's a hard year, I think, for any rookie going through all that and then having to go right into kind of the OTAs and they get a little bit of break before training camp. So it's always hard to be a rookie, but he seems like so far the first 20 hours, he's been handling it all right so far.
What kind of car do you think he's going to drive? Because, if he wants to
truck.
see Toyota's best offers,
I was going to answer that
including those
question.
not seen on TV, he can go to buyatoyota.com. It's Toyota's official website for deals from the official vehicle of the New England Patriots, Toyota. Let's go get Drake Maye a car.
Or some
That
weapons,
sounds good.
maybe.
Yeah.
Or
Well, that's what tonight's about,
an
right?
offensive tackle.
Yeah.
Some
Or a
wide
car.
receivers.
Or a car.
Okay, so Drake Maye, we'll talk more about him as the show goes on. But rumors today. First of all, there were, reportedly a couple calls at least to the Patriots to move out of 3.
Yep. That one. What was the one deal? I'm sorry.
Minnesota.
I blanked on
Minnesota and
trying
Las
to come up.
Vegas.
Yeah.
Last night there were tweets that they
And the
both tried
Giants.
to,
And the
And the
Giants.
Giants.
Yeah,
I
so,
did not
so
see
Minnesota
anything with the Giants.
reportedly, again, this is all, nothing's official, offering their 11, their 23rd, and one next year.
Yeah. I mean, I'll let Paul. I mean, I agree with what Paul said when we were getting ready. I mean, I'll tee you up for your. I mean, I'd be down with. I mean, I love Drake Maye. I wouldn't have been totally crazy
I'm fine
beside
either
myself
way.
if they had done that one.
You know, not to go off Fred. I'm fine that Drake Maye was their pick.
I mean, 2 first-round picks this year, 2 first-round picks next year. I mean,
Well,
that's
not 2.
No. You're swapping first round
Swapping
picks.
next year's first.
You get
Well,
11.
you get one
You get
this
11
year.
and 23
Well,
this
oh
year.
no, I know. I'm
and
just
one
no, but
next
I'm
year.
saying the Patriots would then have 2 first-round picks this year.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
they would have 2
Yeah, you're
first-round
right.
picks
You're
next
right.
year, just in totality. Not what they're actually picking up, but
Yeah,
you know, that's
gotcha.
just look. That's 4 first-round picks that you know
I
you're going
would've-
to have.
I would have been interested in that. I like I said, I'm fine that they didn't do it and they picked Drake Maye.
Yeah, me
but
too.
I would have been interested in that.
I would not have been. I just think that the league told you that this quarterback class is pretty good by taking 6 in the top 12. They also told you next year's quarterback class stinks because they're not taking Bo Nix at 12th overall if they think that there's going to be quarterbacks next year. I just don't think that he has that kind of value in a normal draft. This year, I think what you're looking at is, next year maybe there's 1 or 2 guys that would be at the top of the draft, and if you don't have the number 1 overall pick and Shorter Sanders decides that he's not going to play for the Patriots because his dad says so, then where are you? I just at the end of the day, do you think any of these teams that traded up for a haul to get Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or whoever or whatever, do you think they regret doing those moves? I don't think the Patriots will regret not taking it.
I think it's tough because when you looked at this season and the quarterbacks before this season even started, like Jaden Daniels was not projected to be the 2nd overall pick. I think he did a huge leap this year to get him to that point. So there could be room for players next year in college to make that same leap.
Yeah, at least one
and
quarterback
get into the mix.
will emerge to be a bona fide first-round talent. But right now, we don't know who that is.
To Evan's point, you'll need 6 guys to do that.
Yeah.
Well, to match this year.
To be in a situation where there's, you don't have to have one pick.
Also, I feel like there was a lot of teams this year who were so desperate for a quarterback. Like, a lot of teams needed one. It wasn't just like 1 or 2 teams. It was
But I mean, like
8
Atlanta
teams.
was not desperate for a quarterback.
True.
Right.
And they took Penix because he's so darn good that they took him, and are going to sit him now behind Kirk Cousins at least for a year. So I look at Penix, McCarthy, Bo Nix. Next year, those guys might be the best quarterback in that draft, based off of what we know right now. And it's always possible that somebody can emerge. It's always possible, but it's not going to be 6 guys that are going to emerge. It's going to be 1.
And that's the big unknown that you don't know, because some of the teams that took quarterbacks this year were not desperate to take quarterbacks. Chicago wasn't desperate to take a quarterback. They got in a position where they had the ability to take a guy that they loved, and they said, we're pulling the plug on the old guy, and we're going to go and start over again. Next year, if they had the number 1 pick, they probably, if they were in the same spot, they probably would say, I'll stick with Justin Fields another year.
Yeah.
And ride it out. But Caleb Williams was good enough to sort of reset. Evan already used Atlanta. I think there's a lot of teams that wanted a quarterback of the future that didn't get him. Like Vegas, the Rams. There's a lot of teams that are going to need Seattle.
Yeah.
There's a lot of teams that need quarterbacks that didn't get them.
Is the NFC North the most interesting division of football now? I mean, I find it fascinating with what Detroit's doing, love what Green Bay's doing, Chicago.
You love
obviously
some Detroit.
I mean, I just think overall. I mean, I love me some Green Bay a little bit more, to be honest. But all of them are kind of putting something together. Minnesota, clearly they need J.J. McCarthy to hit. But there's a lot of talent in that division. It's going to be really interesting to see, if Detroit's able to kind of hold on to that, or is Jordan Love going to take another step forward this year? I think it's a really competitive division.
It's good for the NFL.
Yeah,
yeah.
It's good for the league.
Good for the league. It's good for the gander. It's good for the goose.
That and Baker Mayfield, good for the league.
Oh my gosh.
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the other thing that I thought was interesting was that the Patriots made it inquired about Justin Herbert.
Yeah, so
sorry, hockey brain.
The Patriots and the Giants, right?
Yeah. Called the bluff.
I
like that.
Yeah.
See, I kept mentioning I would love to take him.
Well, it's good. You love J.J. McCarthy enough to?
You're the one that wanted to trade for a guy who was not traded.
That's not the question. The question was Harbaugh really that infatuated with J.J. McCarthy that he'd be willing to give up Herbert?
Right.
And the answer is no.
Yeah. You like him? Yeah. Really? You like McCarthy?
Yeah.
Man, you want to give us a little Herbert? Huh?
Yeah.
I think they clearly loved Joe Alt from the beginning, and all of this was just
Yeah.
smoke about J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy went exactly where J.J. McCarthy should have went. He was quarterback 5. He went 10th overall to Minnesota. Like that's exactly the situation that he should have landed in. And him going 2 or 3, I don't think was ever in a serious consideration for either the Commanders or the Patriots.
I think that's a team that really did a good job. And I don't love McCarthy, you know that, but they didn't give up any resources. They stood firm. They slid up one spot, and they were able to get the guy they wanted. And I think because of the reasons that Evan says, that I think that's the guy that best fit with Minnesota. He's the guy that you can kind of plug him in and get something, because they need someone to play right away.
Did you guys see any scuttlebutt about Joe Alt and Slater and how they plan to manage that? Was that, that
Joe Alt going to the other side?
He's going to go to the right?
Probably.
Interesting.
Yeah, I was a little surprised about that pick just because Alt's a great player, but he's not a people mover. Like he's not not a road grading offensive lineman. And I just with Harbaugh, you would have thought that he would have favored, like I was mentioning J.C. Latham last night, somebody that's a little bit more of that run blocker first. Alt's an athlete. He's a pass protector. So is Slater, to be honest. And, maybe we all think that Jim Harbaugh is going to try to play Jim Harbaugh ball and
really hope
run
he
the ball
doesn't.
50 times, but maybe we're wrong. Maybe they're going to pass the ball 50 times because they got all these pass protectors now. So
I feel
we'll
like
see.
you're wasting Justin Herbert's talent if you do that.
Yeah.
I agree to an extent, but I also think that they probably feel like, well, if we can get Herbert extremely efficient on 30 dropbacks instead of making him go high volume at 50 dropbacks, then it maximizes him that direction, like there's that school of thought.
Is there such a thing as, some quarterbacks need to kind of get into that rhythm, like a 3-point shooter. You need to shoot 3-pointers to get into that rhythm.
Mm-hmm.
If you come off and you're just expected to hit one late in the game, it's a lot tougher than
it's kind of like
been doing
when Bledsoe would get going, right? Like,
I think the Patriots just drafted one of those guys.
Yeah.
Drake Maye, when he's on, he's on, and when it gets shaky for him is when he does miss some throws early on in the game and he doesn't get into that rhythm that you mentioned. He's a streaky passer for sure. So that's part of the inconsistencies that people talk about that they're going to have to iron out here. Are if he doesn't see it go through the hoop a couple times in the first quarter, is he going to be able to come back later on in the game and be able to make the throws that he's going to have to make? He's not always consistent in that regard.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why I think you see a lot of those guys have success in the 2-minute drill. Even if they have a shaky half, all of a sudden they'll close the first half and they'll put a good. Now, part of that is the defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of set up.
Yeah.
No big plays and all that. But I think that you see, when you no huddle and you're throwing every play, all of a sudden the guy finishes a drive 6 for 8 and they put a field goal up.
Right. It's like, why wasn't he doing that earlier?
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Situational somewhat.
Yep. All right. Then we have the Patriots sitting at 34, the second pick in this second round.
Bills up first.
The Bills are sitting on top of them. And there's rumors about, possibly Ayuk or Deebo Samuel from the 49ers. And, it looks like both Bills and Patriots would be looking for a wide receiver.
Yep.
They're in the market. What do you think the Bills are thinking with the late maneuverings that they had at the end of that round? What were they trying to set themselves up for?
I mean, get out of the first round, it seems like. I mean, we talked a lot about them today of just if they really wanted a guy like A.D. Mitchell. I mean, everybody thinks they need a receiver, right? They lost their 2 best receivers. I mean, that seems obvious. But if they wanted A.D. Mitchell and they really believed in him, wouldn't they just have taken him? And why are they trying to?
Unless they
all this
are
moving
sure
down?
that the receivers that were available when they were picking are still going to be available if they move out.
Or they feel like the guys that already went are the elite guys that they would have wanted to replace Diggs, and they would rather just get Brandon Ayuk or Debo versus getting one of these guys that they're going to have to develop or they're not ready.
And now they don't have a first-round pick to give them, so they can't even be asked for it.
The whole thing is weird to me with Buffalo, because I just don't know what they seemed hell-bent on not taking a player in the first round.
Yeah.
And I just don't
We
know.
We don't want the 5th-year option.
What's in it
it's a
for
burden.
you?
I don't know.
Money.
Yeah.
But is it really?
Is it that much?
I don't think there's really much of a difference between
bottom of the second,
32
top of the,
and 33.
I mean, bottom of the first, top of the second.
32 and 33, not so much.
But that's what they took.
Yeah, but they hadn't. That's not their original selection.
Right. They went from 20.
So 28 and 34.
I mean, it's not. We're not talking
much of
about
a difference
$50
either.
million, but like the Buffalo Bills have no money. Like we know this.
But you
they're
can't
selling
tell me-
25% of their team.
But you can't tell me the difference between 28 and 33 is not worth that 50-year option. Having that option. Even
take
if you
it up
turn
with the
down.
Pagliucas, because
I just listen. I criticize, the Patriots when they
Pagulas.
Yeah, sure.
But I
wrong owner. Sorry.
Right.
I criticize like the Patriots when they sort of played around a couple years ago and went from whatever it was 21 down to 28 and lost a guy like Trent McDuffie. I don't really. The money is negligible when you're down at that point, since the whole new CBA anyway.
Yeah.
I hear you.
Buffalo's going to take players at some point. Why not take good ones?
Right.
Or the best ones that you can? Now, clearly, the second trade, everybody in there, I mean, if I knew it, everybody else knew that Carolina was taking Leggett.
Yep.
So, clearly, Buffalo didn't want Leggett.
Yeah.
So they were comfortable letting Carolina take him. But I find it hard to believe that they didn't want the guy Kansas City took. They didn't want the guy San Francisco took. They didn't want the guy that Carolina took. And you're sure that you're right now. Like, we need a receiver. We're just going to let all of these receivers go off the board because we know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
It's
got to call it right.
Yeah.
You always accuse me of
crazy.
being a defender of all the teams in the division. I think that was dumb.
I think it's crazy too because that they handed Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs,
Right.
who are one of their biggest
rivals,
and the Chiefs are starving for receivers too, and now they gave them basically a Tyreek Hill 2.0 to just get their ass beat in the playoffs again by them in a couple months. It's like the Bills, they were on a heater. They draft Josh Allen, trade for Diggs. Their front office was as hot as any front office in the league. The last couple drafts, I don't know what the Bills are doing.
Well,
I don't
say
even know
Kincaid worked out for them as a good pick, but now you're not making bad picks. You're just deciding I'm not picking anymore.
Yeah,
like, I don't get that.
Kincaid, I also just kind of thought like, oh, he's fine, fine receiving tight end, but I didn't even get that pick to begin with either.
No, I know you didn't like it, but it's good.
It's just all of it is just shocking from Buffalo's point of view of what they're doing. Like if they traded back and accumulated a lot more picks, I could understand it because if they're cash poor, then now we have draft picks and all these draft picks are cheap and we're just going to draft players and pay them nothing, which would make sense. But they didn't even get that many picks back for the trades that they made.
No, they moved from the 6th to the 5th round or something like that for that second trade.
Is there any chance that by what they do to start this draft today, whether it's trading or an existing player or what, that will say, oh, okay, now I understand what they were doing?
I really wonder that, Fred, because I mean, they could take A.D. Mitchell right now, but I don't think any
I'm
way.
really expecting another trade. To be
Yeah,
honest with you.
that's none of those guys at the receiver position, and I feel the same way about the Patriots. Like if the Patriots traded down a little bit with this second spot, I wouldn't hate it.
They're doing the Belichick draft.
Yeah.
Like let's get 4 or 5 4th and 5th and 6th round picks instead of taking a first rounder or top of the second.
It's hard to look at what the Bills are doing and not look at it through a Patriots lens, which, I know Josh Allen is established, but I mean all we hear is get guys weapons, support these quarterbacks, have guys that can make plays. I talked about last night what an important player Stephon Diggs was in important moments. If I was a Buffalo fan right now, I would be kind of like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, they are. So I went to school up there.
You mean the Mafia?
So trust me, I have friends that are Bills fans, and they all thought that they were going to trade up for Roma Dunze last night, and they went the opposite direction. And trust me, the group chat is not happy about it. I can tell you that.
We're talking about A.D. Mitchell. A lot of people say he's the best receiver left on the board, but there's some stories coming out now about diabetes and not handling it well.
This sounds like some character concerns, and I also think he didn't have a great combine, and I don't know. It's interesting because I think on one hand I'd be excited if they took him, but right now I'm kind of feeling like the Patriots. I feel like he's going to continue to fall, and when I look at this 33rd pick. There's nobody I really feel like you got to have this guy at this spot. He's going to be gone. Please, God, Bills, don't pick him in this. We want this. I don't really feel that way right now about a particular guy. And we've been talking upstairs a lot about Cooper DeJean, who, during the lead up to this, Evan had pointed out as, kind of a prototypical Patriots defensive back. And, I think we have talked about free safety, cornerback, nickel. I mean, all those are kind of needs, and he's a guy who could kind of fit into all those needs. So I know nobody wants defense, but at this point, I could see an argument being made that he's the safest pick for a need right now that could step right in, that could play in the secondary and play a role immediately, whereas some of these receivers, there's some questions. Questions are coming now with the tackles and with the receivers.
Yeah, I know, but you just drafted a quarterback. You have to address the offense. We went over this last night.
I definitely think with
But Cooper DeJean's a really good player.
You don't have to. I would. I don't want any part of a defensive back, particularly a versatile one.
Don't be like that.
But why? But why can I not be like that? I don't want one of those. I want something to help the offense. I'm with Fred.
I am gonna take a card out of what Jordan Reed, our dear friend, tweeted yesterday. He said, drafting offensive tackles, offensive linemen, period, is like getting underwear or socks for Christmas.
Yes.
You're not thrilled about them, but you need them. And I think right now, that's what the Patriots need. After drafting this young quarterback, you need to protect him, and that's what I hope they pick for.
The tackles, they fell off hard. I mean, they all the tackles, like Guyton goes at the end of the first round last night. I saw Daniel Jeremiah tweet about this today. He had 8 year one starter grades on tackles, and all 8 of them are gone. So you start talking about developmental guys like Kingsley Suamataia, Blake Fisher. Those guys have a lot of really good traits and have a really, really high upside. But I think if you're Elliott Wolf, one thing you have to consider, you just took the traits-based quarterback. Like, you just took the high upside, the ceiling player at quarterback. If you then come in the top of the second round and take Kingsley Suamataia, if both those guys don't develop the way that you hope that they will, you're going to get fired. And like, you're also in a position where it could happen 2 to 3 years down the line from now. Like, it's not necessarily going to happen overnight for either of those guys. So that's it's a boomer bust approach if that's what they go with.
One of my back of the envelope guys, I think they have to take is Brandon Coleman. Tackle out of TCU.
Did Bradley set you up to that?
Well, he speaks German.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
German guy and a TCU frog. Yeah. Lots of connections upstairs for us.
Fred's always thinking big picture.
Yeah.
He's connecting dots.
When he's not working on mechanics.
Yeah.
I would say, though, as I sit here right now, I think the most appealing to me would be to trade down a little bit and try to get another pick today and have 3 picks today, and wait a little bit, and some of those tackles, some of the other wide receivers.
Why not trade up
for just one
with the third round pick? Trade up and get 2 second-rounders.
Better
I think he wants.
There's nobody I want right now, though.
I think he wants 3 picks today.
This draft is worse than I thought. No one wants anybody.
Well, I want A.D. Mitchell, but apparently he's a malcontent. So I don't.
I mean, do you want a guy you have to babysit?
Yeah.
If he runs a 4.3 at 6'2", yeah, sure.
But what if he doesn't? He has the traits, but it doesn't work out in the field because he's too much of a head case off the field.
Did it not work out on the field for Texas when he put up 11 touchdowns last year and had him in the college football playoff? I mean, like, I understand that the guy's going to have to be managed.
This will be his job.
I get that.
That's why you brought in Matthew Slater.
That's why you. That's why you have support systems in your football team.
I separate those 2 things completely. Like, the diabetes thing is significant. Like, if he can't, I don't know his health situation. If he can't play
needs to be managed.
Because of health, if he can't play, that's a whole different thing. The malcontent stuff, I need to know more about.
Yeah.
Like, is he...
Just to be clear...
Is it, like, domestic violence? Is he, like, hitting women?
No,
I don't want to be part of...
No.
If it's that kind of off-field stuff, I don't want him.
No.
If he's moody, I'll take him in a heartbeat. I watched the Alabama game. I'll take him.
He's moody. And this isn't me reporting this or anything. McGinn reported this, that one day he's everybody's best friend, the next day he's miserable.
You know who was moody when he got here? Teddy Bruschi. Nobody was more moody than Teddy Bruschi.
When he got here?
And when he left, too.
Well,
probably around the corner right now in a mood.
I think he got better. He was really moody.
There was a quote from the McGinn story that in the morning, A.D. Mitchell would be a prick. Then they would have lunch, and A.D. Mitchell would be a great guy.
Blood sugar goes up.
Blood sugar.
Was he not eating breakfast?
So that, and I guess some of the concern is that he's a kid and he's not doing the right
Yeah.
things to keep his blood sugar
Right.
levels in the right spots.
We'll get him in
It
the
sounds
pros.
like a-
That stuff can
yeah.
be better
We'll-
in the pros.
It
We'll
sounds
get
like
him in the
a,
pros.
That's what I'm saying.
It sounds like a Snickers sponsorship. You know those
Yeah.
like ones where he's a pain in the ass and then he has a
Like, if
Snickers
that's
and-
really
Hangry.
all it is, I'm all in on him.
Yeah.
That's all that's
would
out
take
there.
him in a
Because
blink.
I
Yeah.
have no
just
I
needs
have
to
no
grow
other
up and understand
information.
how to manage what's going on with
Yeah.
him. So, I mean, there's no question that you know he has the talent. I mean, there's a handful of guys right now that are left over the next couple rounds that have the size and you know some kind of talent. I wouldn't necessarily say they all have the speed, but you know contested catchability. That's what the Patriots need. And you know, as appealing as some of these interior quick receivers are, it's like you need a presence on the outside. Like I mean, as much as we you know gave Devontae Parker plenty of deserved crap, like. That was him. Like that's what he did. They had him there for the last couple years, and you know I think that's some kind of role that they have to play. When we talk about Keon Coleman, you know, similar kind of body type, contested catch, big guy, big hands, that kind of thing.
All the
Keon
Lazar lights
Coleman.
are telling us that this was a deep draft for wide receiver. You can get a good receiver into the second and even third round. If that's the case, I want the best receiver left with this pick.
A.D.
And that's
Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell.
If you can get him on the
Not
keep him on
Ladd?
the rails.
Yeah, I
No.
know. I was just gonna
Not
say,
our
Fred,
lad?
you're off
No.
Ladd.
So
Our lad.
It's probably
He's our lad
AD
now.
then Ladd.
I have it as A.D. Mitchell in his own tier compared to the rest of these guys. I had him in the same tier as Brian Thomas Jr. and Xavier Worthy, in that right below the top three guys, right in that next first round tier. Then you have Keon Coleman, Xavier Legette, who went last night, Ladd McConkey.
Yeah.
That type of tier.
Yeah,
as well.
Brugler has, you know, of the guys left, he's got McConkey, then just two people, you know, two slots down is Mitchell, and then just a few more slots is Keon Coleman.
Yeah.
Is Ladd McConkey too similar to like a Pop Douglas though?
Yeah, that's my problem with him.
No, I think Ladd McConkey is misunderstood.
Well, no, he can go outside.
Ladd McConkey's an outside receiver.
Yeah.
Like Ladd McConkey is not Julian Edelman.
But,
like
he's more quick than fast. Well, he ran a 4.46.
He's very quick off the line though.
Yeah.
So he can burst off the line and throttle down and really get up the field.
Fred doesn't know what to do with McConkey because he actually has skills.
No, McConkey. The comparison that I've used for McConkey is Chris Olave. Like he's not
good.
He's not Edelman. He's not Wes Welker. Like that's not his game. He's a guy that wants to get up the field and then he's going to break off routes at like the 10 to 12 yard range off that. So he's an intermediate guy.
Yeah.
I would say mostly, but he's
so
he's
for a
different.
quarterback who can anticipate, he'd be a great
Yeah,
partner.
yeah, and I think the other thing with him is there are some concerns about some of the injuries he had last year. He had back and ankle injuries that were nagging all last year, and that's why he didn't play very much. He caught 30 out of 38 passes that were thrown his way last year, which is insane. But he only had 38 targets because he didn't play. So there's some. We're at the point of the draft where everybody's got concerns. Like Keon Coleman ran a 4.6. A.D. Mitchell's got diabetes apparently. You know, Ladd McConkey.
Needs a Snickers.
Ladd McConkey's a little bit injury prone. He's a little bit smaller, a little bit more slight of frame. Same with Troy Franklin. Like all these guys have traits that are intriguing, but all these players have warts at this point of the draft.
Throw Roman Wilson in there too, and I know he's more of a slot.
Yeah.
But he's just a really good player.
He is, and he's small.
Yeah.
So that's his wart.
Okay. So, best guess.
I'm gonna say trade down.
Trade down.
Yeah, not far, but I'm gonna say some other team was sitting on somebody they really want. They need to fill a need, like for a cornerback, like a Cooper DeJean.
Yeah.
And that they're gonna make them. Some team will make a move up a
And
few
there's
spots
no one
to
that
go
the
grab
Patriots
them.
love.
Look, I'd pretty much be happy with any receiver. I mean, they, like Evan said, they have their warts. I'm willing to overlook those if they believe in them at this point. But like everybody has some questions.
I would like Troy Franklin. I like him, I think, a little bit more than Evan does. Malachi Corley, I think Evan doesn't like. Those are a couple
like
of guys
him.
that they talk to, so I've sort of had them on my radar a little bit.
Corley's a good
I really like Troy Franklin. Normally I try to stick to my guns better than this. I really liked Troy Franklin when I watched his film the first time around. But then what happened was
comp got in your head.
He goes to the combine and he's tiny. He's rail thin.
He is skinny.
He's
180 pounds.
He's
max.
He's Tyquan Thornton in terms of the body type.
And yeah.
And that's scary. And
That's
then
true.
if you watch him go through the on-field work at the combine,
I heard he was terrible on the.
His gauntlet was an absolute disaster. He looks like he's drunk and he's weaving like this, and you're supposed to go in a straight line.
Bob McGinn Jr. over here. He was drunk at the combine.
Yeah, God, I should stop doing that. But he just doesn't look coordinated, and that's Tyquan's problem. Tyquan he got 2 left feet. Like, he can't get out of his own way in that regard. So there's a lot of overlap there between him and Taekwon. Just like with Keon Coleman, there's a lot of overlap with N'Keal Harry. Like, that's my concern, and that's why if it is a Ladd McConkey, I would just rather do something different and strike out trying to do something different. Doubling down on the same skill set worries me. Just take the guy that's a little bit different then. I don't know why we're trying to just, we got Taekwon wrong 2 years ago, so let's just draft another version of Taekwon. I don't see the logic in that.
So you're saying you would be okay with McConkey?
Yeah, I'd be okay with McConkey. I mean, it's
Fred, I'd be so excited just for you.
Me too.
Me too. I would be very excited.
I will say this. You invented McConkey.
He did.
I did.
I mean, you guys know how much college football I watch.
I'm gonna give him
I knew who
I'm
he
like,
was.
that's not a real person. Ladd McConkey, that's not a real person.
I'm not trying to like be Barth. The only reason why is Georgia. If he played for like Georgia, Alabama, maybe Ohio State, I have a good chance of knowing, 2 years before you come out of the draft. Otherwise, like, I'm not going to know until they get onto the draft radar.
Yeah.
He was way ahead of the curve. I knew who McConkey was when he was talking about him, but he was way ahead of the curve.
Ladd McConkey's been on the draft radar for a couple of years now. Same with Bowers. Those two have been kind of the two Georgia weapons that have been, all right, these guys are going to get drafted. I was
my
surprised.
initial thing with McConkey was like, oh, Fred's going to love this guy. This is another,
try hard guy.
Try hard. And then I was like, because again, Georgia's on every week. Yeah. And you're like, oh, you know what? This guy's not bad. Then I'm like, how do I pretend that I didn't make fun of Fred about Ladd McConkey?
Yeah, he's explosive.
And then all of a sudden, like, that whole year ends, and then it's like into the next season. I'm like, Fred, he ain't Slade Bolden. I can't make fun of you.
Yeah.
This is a whole different guy. He's pretty good.
So fun to watch at the Senior Bowl. Definitely one of my favorite people to watch.
Yeah.
And just having the defenders vote him as like their favorite player to defend.
Yeah. Like he breaks ankles.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah. I was actually surprised that Ricky Pearsall went ahead of him. But I think that Ricky Pearsall is a little bit of a cleaner prospect, it turns out, with some of the injury concerns with Ladd McConkey. And that's why. A little bit better athletic tester, too. But the Ladd McConkey's film is definitely better than Ricky Pearsall.
Another guy the Patriots looked at, right?
Yeah.
I think they had him in.
Yeah, Pearsall's a good player. Really good hands, really tough, can go over the middle of the field. Really athletic, like almost more athletic than he even shows on film at times in terms of the combine. It was kind of a surprise how well he tested at the combine. So we'll see. I think all these receivers, I'm kind of with Deuce. I would sort of like to see them trade down. And if they really have A.D. Mitchell off the board and he's not an option for them, I think that it's a little early for this tier that we're talking about, the Troy Franklins, the Keon Colemans. Like, I wouldn't love it here at 34, and if you could add another pick, I would prefer that.
All right, so Roger Goodell has taken the stage in Detroit, and he's opening up the second round. It's like a musical going on up there. It's
Fletcher
like
Cox up there?
Cast of thousands on stage with him. People taking selfies, and I don't know, somebody with a Falcon shirt. Who is that? That's a receiver. I know him.
I can't.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're moments away from the Bills being on the clock.
There are some Twitter whispers that this pick is going to be Keon Coleman to the Bills.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
that makes sense. I don't love him, but that makes sense. They got to take one of these guys.
It also, I think he works in Buffalo. I just would be petrified of him here. And I know it's a whole new coaching staff, so who knows? Like, maybe these guys can develop receivers
I will
better.
say, like, you go down there, and who better to just say, I'm just going to throw it up to you. Go jump and catch it.
Yeah. The catch radius thing is appealing.
Yeah.
Those guys just don't move my needle, and I don't know if I've been scarred.
What does move your needle, Mike?
Speed and run after catch.
Like, all of a sudden, he wants to trade down.
No, just
like
a little.
Well, if you take them at face value,
I don't even know him anymore.
If you take him at face value, Elliot Wolf has said numerous times that they want to accumulate more picks if they can. They're a draft and develop team, and they want to accumulate more draft picks. He hasn't done it yet. Obviously, only had one pick, but he didn't do the big trade down in the first round. So you have to imagine that it's on their minds if they can get more picks today or tomorrow that they're going to try to do it.
All right, let's take a couple phone calls before we get into the action here. Christian's in L.A. What's up, Christian?
Hey, you guys. That was a pretty cool draft yesterday. I was more of a Jaden Daniels guy than Drake Maye, but like a good Patriots loyalist, I will adjust and try to find the good.
There you go.
So on that note,
There's one
do you
in my
think
camp.
that Drake Maye's actual arm now is strong enough to release someone like Tyquan Thornton down the down the seam or something, or on the outside.
Yeah.
Now we have a quarterback with an actual arm.
that wasn't the issue with Tyquan Thornton, that no one could reach him, even Mac.
Yeah.
You know,
Tyquan Thornton,
Mac put a couple right in his hands that he dropped.
yeah.
Right.
Tyquan Thornton literally would be running the wrong route, stop running his route, or just completely be in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a caller on Catch 22 earlier today that
Thanks,
asked me
Christian.
the same question, and I've taken the cheese with Tyquan one too many times. I'm not doing it again with Tyquan Thornton. Like, it's until I see him in NFL games actually put together like a month of great production, I am not buying
If they take a receiver here, there's a very
Off the
good
roster.
chance that it knocks Tyquan Thornton.
Yeah,
off the
I mean,
roster.
I assume they will take a receiver in this draft. He's gonna have to win a spot. Like,
Yeah.
there's not.
Well,
He's not like.
I think he's probably okay right now because I don't look
Barely.
at them being able to do anything with Juju Smith-Schuster.
Yeah.
If they can,
Oh my God, I would
that
love
could
that.
save Tyquan too. If they draft somebody in the second round, that makes him a lock.
Yeah.
And I think that he would be in trouble.
I literally have been saying all offseason long, I don't know how, but I wish we can get rid of both Taekwon and Juju.
Well,
I don't know.
Taekwon they can just cut.
I
So
don't
that's
know.
not
When
an
did
issue.
Tyquan
get
move?
rid of-
Oh, Bill's on the call.
You could.
I
So
just-
Tyquan bumped on your list, Tamara, guys. You want off the
Taekwon
team.
and Juju.
Devontae Parker left, and you got rid of him, and now you
Yes.
you slid Tyquan Thornton into
Yes.
the Tamara's.
Taekwon's easy.
Please.
Taekwon
Kill list.
can just be cut.
Okay, we'll cut.
Juju's
then-
a different story.
Yeah, that's that money problems.
So
real quick,
who do you
though-
want to trade down for, Mike? If we, assuming we trade down, who do you want to trade down for?
Well, I
Anybody?
think I'd feel better, in those spots talking about any of some of the tackles, Patrick Paul, some of the other receivers, like you said, Corley. I mean, I don't know. I think Franklin will be around for a little bit.
Yeah, those guys are like, fringe second.
Rosengarten,
probably third.
one of Evan's guys, Roger Rosengarten.
Henry Rollingardner.
Yeah,
I
Blake
think-
Fisher. I mean, those.
I
Yeah,
think
that
Troy
seems like
Franklin's
these are the
gonna
guys.
will go early tonight.
Yeah.
Troy Franklin, as much as we have PTSD because of the Patriots draft failures with that type of skill set, he's one of the most productive players in the draft at receiver. Extremely efficient, like high-end analytically profile, and pretty good tape. So I wouldn't imagine, I could have seen Buffalo taking him right here also, but some of the Twitter peeps think it's going to be Keon Coleman. But I think that, if you trade down to 40, 41, 42, then Troy Franklin does make a lot more sense, I think, in that spot than he would here. Or Kingsley Suamatia makes a lot
Good one.
more
Another
sense
good one.
in that spot than he does here. But you also don't have to get cute with it. Like, if you like the player, it's not worth, not taking him versus.
I just feel like right now the value kind of lives on defense at this immediate moment, aside from a couple people. Like, the teams that need a cornerback right now, like, I think they're going to be desperate to try to get up to the top of this draft, and even some of the edge guys, that are still around. So, I don't know. It's hard because I think the real value of the positions the Patriots need are like mid-second round. You let it like 5-10 picks go by and then get another. I'd rather have 3 of those mid-second round guys. Or second round into the third round than just one now and
so
one
amazing.
are we
You kick
tipping
Belichick
picks
to the
on?
curb.
Yeah, go ahead.
So the Bills took Keon Coleman, or about to take Keon Coleman.
Okay.
So thank you, Buffalo, for saving them
Praise.
from themselves.
Praise.
Thank you. So we'll see.
So back to defense, Evan. Where did you have Kool-Aid McKinstry on your list?
Yeah, probably like around. I can look it up, but probably around like quarterback 6, maybe. I want to say off the top of my head.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I did all the
I heard
corners. And what I like about Kool-Aid is he's a little bit bigger and more physical than some of these other guys that he could truly play on the outside at high exposures, where some of the guys in day 2 that we've talked about a lot are more slot nickel types. So I think Kool-Aid is a really good player. They discovered a Jones fracture in his foot
Yep.
in February, and that derailed his entire pre-draft process, which is tough. And those injuries are tough too. They're nagging and they
Was
don't
it
go away
something
easily.
that he had during the season?
Yeah, so they actually he got it discovered at the combine by the doctors there in Indianapolis. And those Jones fractures, they can be a really, really small hairline fracture, and sometimes you just don't think about it.
Because I thought Kool-Aid was pretty good.
Yeah,
but
I thought so
didn't
too.
I didn't think he was a shutdown corner.
No.
He's one of the guys that A.D. Mitchell had his way with, by the way, in that game against Alabama.
Yeah, no, I think as a number 2 corner to Gonzo, though, that would
Oh,
be
I
a
like
nice
him.
pairing.
He's a
I
good
had
scrappy
him,
player.
I
I
had
like
him as cornerback 6. So I had Arnold, Quinyon Mitchell, Nate Wiggins, Cooper DeJean, Mike Sandstrill Kool-Aid. But Sandstrill's a nickel, and Cooper DeJean might be a safety. So.
And Sandstrill's
We've been waiting to hear from him. Here he is. It's Eldred from North Carolina.
Oh, Eldred, how you doing, buddy?
Are you on your way to Atlanta?
Hey, Tamara. Hey, fellas. How y'all doing?
All right.
Good.
Dude,
I'm sorry for your loss.
I'm only 2.5 hours from Atlanta.
There you go.
You better believe I am.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for your loss, buddy.
Evan,
Yes, sir.
Evan, hats off to you, bro. You got your boy. Okay?
Well, I'm not right yet, Eldred. Ask me in 3 years if I'm right.
I'm going to ask you about a year and a half. but they celebrating down here in Huntersville, though. They're having a good ball down in Huntersville.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
So what do you think about Penix going to the Falcons?
Shocked me. I thought at least Seattle or maybe the Raiders go get him because of the connection. But I never thought Atlanta would get him at 8.
Yeah. How long do you think he'll have to sit?
He would go in the top 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
But everybody kept saying no because of history.
Yeah.
You know, but that's that.
Okay.
But if this new regime, if they knew, get that kid a wide receiver, get him A.D. Mitchell. I don't care about the baggage. And then in the 4th round, go get his buddy, Dez Walker, because they played against each other against West Charlotte and Marist Park all the time anyway. So might well get them back together again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm coming around on Tez Walker. I do I know it probably doesn't mean anything, but I do like kind of pairing him with his college quarterback and the connection. And we talk about, what do they need? They need an outside receiver with speed and size. And he, even though he's raw, he checks all those boxes. Watching him at the pro day, his catch radius is legit. His speed is legit. He just doesn't run routes, the full route tree yet. He's still got some things to develop, but I think in general, I'm coming around to it. I didn't love his film, but I think that he's got a lot of traits.
Okay. All right, Eldred.
I like his story and all that, but y'all have a good one.
Okay.
Thanks, Eldred.
Thanks for
Thanks,
calling
Eldred.
in. Let's go to.
See, that's what it's all about, Eldred. Just
being
peaceful.
Becoming a Falcons fan.
Yeah.
Being peaceful.
Well, I mean, his guy got picked higher than he thought it would be picked.
He's
so.
going to be calling Falcons Unfiltered, like talking crap about
about
Kirk Cousins.
Be like, do you, Orlando? I agree with you.
They got to get Cousins out of there.
So the Patriots are on the clock.
I just feel like that's like such an uncomfortable situation where like here, like Drake Maye is going to come in and have a great mentor and leader in Jacoby Brissett, but like there, like Kirk Cousins is going to be.
I think he'll get over it. I think he'll be great. I mean, I like Penix too. I mean, that was one of my favorite things about Penix. Just was what kind of guy he seemed like, and Cousins is like infamous for just being kind of that lovable dad guy. So I think Cousins was probably blindsided, but. This is a business. I think everybody understands that. And, he's just got to go out and play. I mean, he's 36, coming off an Achilles.
Yeah, and they're going to
also, he's got the bag, so, like, go out there and play.
The different people will start to make the announcements. We're going to have Michael Wenyu.
We are.
Making the
he's
selection.
He's from Detroit.
For the Patriots, assuming
Mike.
that Mike doesn't get his way.
Yeah, I know.
And
right?
Our
Mike wants to trade down.
Trade down. You're going to have to wait on Wenyu.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess so. Now there's reports coming out that Josh Allen specifically wanted Keon Coleman, requested Keon Coleman specifically, and that he wanted him last night. And so I imagine they had to be like, it's going to be all right. We're going to get him tomorrow.
If he ends up being a good player, I would say that's a really good, situation that they put in. They moved around, they picked up a couple of secondary picks, and that's a really good thing. So I don't love the player. I agree with Evan. I can understand it a little bit more with Buffalo. They need someone on the outside. I think with Josh Allen, you can.
The Chargers have traded with the Patriots, and the Chargers are now on the clock.
Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. So the Patriots are trading down to 37 with the Chargers, so not too far. I don't know what they got back yet, but
Mike, congratulations, you got your way.
Thank God. I was worried there for a second.
So who's Harbaugh taking? Who did he have his eye on?
I guess
I'm gonna
wide receiver.
Wide receiver, because didn't they give the Bears Keenan Allen?
maybe
that would make
Jalen Polk from Washington.
Ooh, I liked him.
Maybe. Just throwing.
I mean, I don't know. I would throw out. I mean, again, I'll just say that the values in defensive backs. I think.
I was gonna say maybe he'll go after his guy and get Roman Wilson.
That's
Get one Michigan.
That
guy.
wouldn't be impossible too.
Yeah. So the Chargers have taken the Patriots pick at 34. We're now picking at 37.
Now it's just what did they pick up? That's the big one. We got to write up. Can someone write up the Ernie style? You know how he puts it up on the board.
I will when I see it. I haven't seen anything.
I mean, you had to take them
here
at
it is.
face value.
So Patriots pick up. So they traded 34 and 137 for 37 and 110.
So they move up. They move down in this round, but move up from the 5th round. So now they have 103 and 110. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Math.
110 is earlier than the 5th round, right?
It's now we're back into the 4th round. So now they have 2 4th-round picks.
Okay.
But they don't have a 5th-round pick anymore.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's
So
fine.
now we wait.
That's fine with me.
So what was the trade again?
Patriots trade 34 and 137 for 37 and 110.
Okay. Colin is in Seattle. 855 Pats 500. What's up, Colin?
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I've always been a fan of the double dip for wide receivers. I'm hoping the Chargers don't break my heart and take my guy Jalen Polk here, but I'm hoping we can double dip on the Washington guys. Being a Washington fan, I'd like Jalen Polk and McMillan on the Patriots. I'll take it off the line.
Okay.
Jalen Polk, yeah, I like Jalen Polk.
Well, the good news is Mike didn't get his way. They didn't stockpile picks.
Don't celebrate just so fast, Deuce.
I'm more on board now.
Paul, you're
Why is
always
that,
the
Paul?
fly in the ointment.
Because we don't have extra guys.
I know.
Right. Well, I was thinking back to last year with all those 6 and 7 rounders that they just like reeled off last year. That was like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even keep them all straight. But yeah, little trade down, little trade up there, combo deal. So, you know, it's still just 2 picks today, and you'll have a little bit of a gap tomorrow. But I don't know. Like as always, there are probably going to be some more moves coming, I would guess.
Yeah, it's interesting that they get those double 4th rounders now. You know, I'm interested to see if I kind of thought the 4th round would be where we might start to see them take some defensive players, and maybe they're thinking that, and they're tackle double dip, receiver double dip, and then also maybe try to get an edge rusher or something like that in the 4th round, because there's going to be some value there with the edge guys, I think, in round 4. So hey, it'd be interesting to see why they, you swapped. You didn't add picks like Paul said, so it would be interesting to see who they like at 110. They're obviously somebody there that they're going to think about.
Let's see. Mike is at the draft. He says it's an odd setup in comparison to expectations. They only have 2 food trucks for the closed space. That's it.
2 food trucks. Jeez.
He wants a receiver.
Those people
so,
are working hard.
Fred, I'm sorry to crush your dreams.
Yeah.
The Chargers took Lad McConkey.
No.
Damn. Wow. Sorry, Fred.
Darn.
We'll see him here this year, though.
Yeah, I think once you trade it out, I think the Patriots knew that, you knew that they weren't going to take him because he was going to go.
Yeah.
Before 37.
Dang.
It is interesting, though, that the wide receiver needy Patriots traded a pick that was a wide receiver that all of us probably had on our boards as a possible target. And I think when you look at what Elliott said last week about what kind of receiver they need, I think they truly feel like they need that outside X body type and not a 5'11" Lad McConkey. So Keon Coleman's off the board. A.D. Mitchell's still there. I mean, I don't know.
Tez Walker.
Tez Walker,
Yeah.
probably a little bit later.
Brendan
Brendan Rice a
Rice.
little bit later. It'd be interesting to see. Obviously, they didn't feel like they wanted the technician. They want somebody that's a little bit bigger.
Well, once the Patriots, assuming they do make the pick at 37, Elliot Wolf will come on with us before he meets the media. So we'll have a chance to...
Before. Okay.
Supposedly, that's what I'm told.
Butter him up.
He's going to meet the media tonight after the 3rd round.
Oh, he's
correct?
not going after the pick?
Isn't that right?
I'm not sure.
I did not see the media.
I thought he was only meeting with the media once.
Okay, well, that's fine. Anyway, we'll get him after the pick.
I think we're going to get him after the pick.
And I
think
can
that's
ask
the
him
plan.
why he didn't take Lad McConkey.
You should pitch him on it. I mean, I'm telling you, Lad, you missed out on that one.
Yeah.
So there we are. Lad, very happy.
Yeah.
Good lad.
Our lad.
No, he's not our lad.
Oh, well. Well, there's still Johnny Wilson out there.
No.
now
Not
that-
in this round.
Now the Falcons have traded up and are on the clock. Not with the Patriots. They traded up with the
So you have to...
Arizona Cardinals. What day is it? What
so,
team?
So do you think Kirk Cousins is asking for a wide receiver here, like Josh Allen asked for a wide receiver?
I don't think he's in a position to ask for anything. What does Michael Penix want?
No, they have. But
Penix is like Polk. Give me my guy Polk.
I mean, they've used so many premium picks on Pitts and London and
Yeah.
Robinson.
Bijan.
They got to do
think it's
something on
defense?
defense.
You'd think, but hey.
Uh-oh, it might be the guy you guys like on defense.
Well, what did I say yesterday about this round? Going to be a lot of action, a lot of trading, and so far I'm right.
Tamara, where are you getting all these
There was
picks?
a trade.
You're like the tip master over
I
there.
got 2 trades already.
So Deuce, we all might get what we want because this is just floated out there, and I think it's a good theory. The 2 4th-round picks would be enough to get them back into the 3rd round again tonight.
Yeah.
So they could end up making 2 3rd-round picks if they wanted to.
Yeah, because
so
one of them's a high 4th.
Right. So then they're both pretty high. So then Paul gets what he wants because we're consolidating picks.
Right.
Less work.
And Deuce is right because you're
Paul
going to make
never gets
everybody
what he
wins.
picks tonight.
So instead of girl math, this is Evan math.
This is
No.
this is
Evan
what
math.
this
Yeah.
is what I do.
Football
Evan
math.
math. Football math.
So the Falcons are now picking 3rd in the 2nd round.
Yes.
And I hear that they might be trading one of their quarterbacks. No, I'm
Kirk Cousins.
Mike, you're, I would say, a student of minutia.
Oh,
Like you're
okay.
great with numbers,
Okay.
right? Hoodies.
Yeah. Well, that yes.
Is there a fifth round thing with the Patriots?
I don't know.
They like to trade out of the 5th round.
I don't
Yes,
know.
there is.
Yeah?
There is?
So
there?
the 5th round, statistically speaking, this is a little Belichickism. I don't know if it still qualifies. Statistically speaking, the 5th round is the least valuable round in the draft because of just the way teams grade players and things like that. So that's why Bill always took special teams players in the 5th round, is because they're just kind of worthless. So they just, there's no difference between
I agree with the last part.
The-
Special teamers kind of worthless.
there's no difference between statistically the 6th and 7th round and the 5th round.
But Bill say he likes to at least have a pick in every round?
Yeah,
You know,
spread
He doesn't
out.
like, I know
Yeah.
he has said many times he doesn't like the big gaps.
He doesn't like the big gaps. He doesn't like seeing the train go by.
Right.
Yeah.
And not being, in the action. So,
I mean, you're not in the action when you're trading back all the time. Like you're
Oh.
watching the parade go by.
Yeah.
When you're trading down and getting Cole Strange, you're
Yeah.
watching the parade.
I'll
go
let
by.
you guys tackle the name. I still haven't gotten. I practiced it a few times for who they're
Evan's
taking
got it.
the Falcons. There's a lot of horo. There's a bunch of oro.
Rook Ohorahor,
Ohoro.
I think is how you say it.
Or-
if that's who we're talking about.
Oro.
Uh,
I think there's like 4 oros.
yeah. So Rook Ohorahor, Horror.
Or horo.
There you go.
I
Really,
would never be able to say that.
R-O-R-E-A.
I could say that a lot easier than this.
he's a good player too, and we're like butchering his name. Another one of those long,
I got it.
physical, press the pocket type of defensive lineman. I
is
actually
it a little bit of a reach, though?
maybe slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kinda-
51 for the beast.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe slightly.
Okay, yeah.
but not crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
One spot ahead of Michael Penix, who went 8.
physical guy. Another one of those like long, sturdy, heavy hands, like gonna press blocks, gonna dent the pocket. A lot of those guys in this draft, honestly. Him and who is it? Robinson from Missouri that went last night. A lot of those types of guys in this draft. So, another one.
All right, so that leaves the Commanders on the clock, correct?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think like what you're seeing is with this draft format that teams have a chance to sit there and evaluate and try to make some deals to, try to get up. And I mean, I think, defense, there is some value there. Clearly the Bills knew their guy. They wanted their guy. I mean, I go back to when the Patriots took Rossai Dowling, had that first pick in the 2nd round, like, all this day of speculation, who are they going to take? And then I think that one was a little bit of a surprise. But, it's just kind of the new draft format, which we were reflecting upon. How many rounds used to be on Saturday? It was like
the
1 to
first 3? First 3
Yeah.
on Saturday and the last 4 on Sunday.
I like that.
It's
And
much better.
Now, I liked it as a fan. I don't know how you guys felt about it, like working it, because it probably is a lot of volume.
Well, working is the same.
Yeah.
But I always liked, let's work 2 long days instead of 3.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm sure that the data will tell you that Goodell says no one's ever watched the draft any more than they do now on Thursday nights.
Well, he's probably right.
So-
He's probably not.
Well,
I made an event of it. I mean, I would sit in front of my, I'd make food. It would be a whole, and
Yeah.
it started, especially in California. It started early. It was like I want to say
yeah.
9 a.m. maybe.
I think it was noon on Saturday, 11 on Sunday.
Yeah. So it was fun. You know, you get right at it, and like you
And
gotta.
that one of those Sundays was the day that Fred talked about this recently when we broke the Drew Bledsoe trade.
That's right. Yeah.
It was the Sunday of.
I didn't realize that
must have
happened
been
over
the
draft
02
weekend.
Draft.
Second round.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, do you guys think?
Day 2, right?
Day 2.
Yeah.
It must have been the 02 draft.
Anything with the extra pick though now? Like, if the Patriots get by this next pick, do you feel like a trade is off the table, or do you think like we're still in the mix for a trade? I mean, how valuable is this next 37th overall pick? Is that, if this goes bye-bye, is
Well,
it?
now you still have those 2 fourths.
Yeah.
So that's
You
probably.
guys
are you talking
You
about-
guys want to package those, right?
Yeah.
What
Let's
happened
get
to
another guy.
helping Paul?
Only got one more
Are you
pick.
talking
You guys
about,
cut me loose already?
Are you talking
What?
about packaging it for Debo Samuel?
Yeah, or anybody.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Just,
that's
just,
not gonna
just
get you
generally.
that.
No, I know, but I'm just saying general trades. I mean, we talked about a lot of different trades. Is once you lose this kind of your last biggest asset, is it hard to make a trade
Oh, you're
without
talking
another
about
second round
37.
pick?
I thought you were talking about the 2
Nah,
fourths.
Yeah, now you're talking.
Yeah, 37.
Now you're talking within the draft instead of a player.
Yeah.
An existing player.
Yeah.
No, but 37 could get you something. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm really interested to see what's actually out there for Debo Samuel.
Although 34 just got you to move up 25 spots from the 5th round to the 4th round.
Yeah.
That's all that was worth.
Yeah, I just with Debo, he's expensive, he's aging, he's injury history. I mean, I just think that sometimes these receiver deals we think are going to blow our socks off, and then you get the notification of what actually this guy went for. It's like Amari Cooper goes for like a 5th round pick.
I'd be stunned if San Francisco took less than the 1st rounder that they're talking about for Ayuk, but I kind of agree with Evan. I think they might look at it and say, people might be calling it.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously?
Yeah.
He's already got the contract. I have to give you a 1st round pick? And, really?
Let's see. Jackson writes in, I'm with Colin in Seattle with the double dip on Washington guys, since it seems they want no part of A.D. Mitchell for whatever reason. For a team that has talked at length about weaponizing the offense, they sure seem to be avoiding wide receiver like Bill is still making the picks. A bit disappointing.
They haven't even made a second pick yet.
Well, they traded it.
Yeah.
I think is his point.
They're passing up.
Yeah.
Well, they just didn't want Lad Okay. I don't
Yeah.
know. It seems a little bit aggressive. They haven't even made a second pick yet. Like if they take a receiver here, then
Right, and looks like the Commanders took Jerry Newton.
yeah,
from Illinois.
Johnny Newton. Yeah,
Johnny Newton.
he's an interesting.
Defensive tackle out of Illinois.
He's a fun watch. Yeah, he's an explosive interior guy, a little bit like Christian Barmore. He's got the upper body strength, but he also has a really good first step and lateral agility, and he can make guys miss as much as he can go through you. Yeah, he's a game wrecker. It's very similar to Barmore in a similar spot that Barmore went into. So, fun player.
Okay.
His real name is Jerzon.
Yeah, but he goes by
No,
Johnny.
I know he goes by Johnny. I'd never heard Jerzon, but I've heard a lot of people talk about Johnny Newton.
Yeah.
I just looked at
That's his,
on Twitter.
I think that's his given name.
His God-given name.
I think parents given probably.
And he is where'd he go? Who took him?
We're just
Washington?
waiting.
Washington?
But it's killing me.
What?
Nothing.
We can't say
Nothing.
it. It's not out there yet.
No,
We can't
the
say it.
kids are obviously on a line that you and I are not
Don't tell
privy
me.
to.
But
I don't
I'm
wanna be on
excited.
it.
I don't
I
care.
don't
You
wanna
can
be.
tell me.
No.
Don't tell me.
You
I don't
gotta
want to know.
wait.
Did they pick or leave?
Not to me.
No,
They did.
no, we're not. It's not out there yet. I can't.
I don't have any.
sworn
Okay.
to secrecy.
Yeah, you can't.
For 5 more seconds, everybody can wait.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess we're picking a guy.
We're picking
Apparently.
a guy. We're picking
Right?
a guy.
Player, the football game.
And it's gonna be a good one.
Okay. All right.
Just kidding. No, it actually goes with what the email that you just read. It goes along with that.
Washington. Okay. All right. Well, we'll have they announced officially? Yeah. So here comes Washington's pick. So
Yeah.
while they're doing that in Detroit, we'll go to Blake in Ohio. What's up, Blake?
Hey guys, thanks for taking the call. I just wanted to see what's the attire like tonight. Has Fred actually taken a bow tie off yet? Or?
Yeah, he went to a polo.
You're not watching?
The Patriots pick. We know
No,
what it is
I'm
now.
actually driving on my way home. Unfortunately.
Yeah. No, I'm just wearing a standard Patriots polo.
Okay. Hey, I did have a question real quick about A.D. Mitchell. Why this slide? I feel like he's definitely went a little later than what we all thought.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. There's some stories out there about his management of his diabetes and just at times kind of being out of it. So that could be the reason why, but who knows?
Yeah. So Bert Breers put it out there. If you want, can we say it now?
Yeah.
So it's Jalen Polk, the wide receiver from Washington, which I'm with these guys. I'm excited. He's one of the first guys I kind of watched, and I was like, wow, I really really like this kid, and it seemed like the consensus was lower than what I saw, but I think he's an explosive player. He's got some potential. He's not Roma Dunze, but I really was impressed with him. I think this is a really good pick. I know he's probably a big board guy for you too, Evan.
100%. Yeah.
He's a fit.
What's his measurements?
Jalen Polk. I would 6'1", 203.
Thanks, Blake.
He's got some size, but I wouldn't necessarily say that he's a true X receiver. But what he is very, very crafty, great play strength, and awesome hands. This guy catches everything thrown his direction. Really sticky hands. Really good receiver for a quarterback like Maye that's not going to necessarily be super accurate all the time. Has that ability to make catches all over the place, and not the most guy that pops off the film at you, I wouldn't say, in terms of game speed, but somehow, some way, he's open like all the time, and you just look up and you're like, he just ran by that guy, and he just ran by that guy, but then you look at the 40 time and all that kind of stuff, and it doesn't blow you away. But he plays fast, and he plays really physical to hold his line and not get knocked off by coverage, and really fun player to watch on film. And any of those Washington guys I would have been jazzed up for. And I think this was a perfect range to take him with this little trade down and something different. This is not, we were talking about Keon Coleman and Troy Franklin and how they were N'Keal Harry, Tyquan Thornton. This is a little bit different, and some people have used the Jacoby Myers comp with Jalen Polk, but obviously a second-round version of Jacoby Myers.
Moves better than him.
Not a UDFA, but somebody that has a similar skill set.
It feels like, kind of what we said at the top of the draft. At least for the first two picks, it just both of them seem to make sense and hitting on needs and guys that are on the radar and that make sense. So I think it's a good pick. This is a good follow-up to Drake Maye. You've got another receiver to bring in. We talked a little bit about Tyquan Thornton. What does this maybe mean for him? I think the whole wide receiver room is going to be a bloodbath, but Jalen Polk, I think he's in the mix, and this is a good ad.
They're not disappointing this year.
No.
We said they needed a quarterback, they took a quarterback. They said they need another wide receiver, they took a wide receiver.
Yeah, and then
so
right in the right range too. It's I guess what. Yeah, I'm at 74 for the Beast. That's when I watched him, I just felt like this. He looks really good. I was surprised that he was kind of third round, but yeah, I think it's a good pickup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one thing, and maybe there's another shoe to drop with, a Niners trade with Ayuk or Samuel or something. I didn't project Polk to be like a true number one guy. I don't think you look at him as.
You had said that. I remember you saying
as like
that exact line.
A top of the hierarchy type of receiver.
And there's probably not a true number one left on the board.
Unless A.D. Mitchell was didn't have his baggage. But yeah, I agree. And I think that, with Polk, he's a true number two. And I think he has a chance to be Devontae Smith, or T. Higgins, right? But he's probably not going to be Jamar Chase.
Yeah.
But that's all right.
But, I will say, though, you get in sort of the weeds, but it's hard to be a true number two unless there's a one. Yeah. The one kind of makes the two. Otherwise, the two needs to be a one. You know what I'm saying? It's hard.
It sounds like me trying to figure out my bathroom break.
Yeah,
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's Big Mike.
You hear me?
Mike and when you at Detroit.
It's an honor to be standing here, man. As a proud Detroit native, as a Cass Tech alumni, and a University of Michigan alumni, the national champs, man. Always. With the 37th pick in the 2024 NFL Draft, my New England Patriots select Jalen Polk, receiver, Washington.
Wow. They went out and got a
wow.
Can we?
Is that Daniel Jeremiah?
I know. I'd like to hear what Daniel Jeremiah has to say.
He didn't seem so thrilled.
You see the size there, inside, outside. He's a jump ball winner. That's what he does above everything else, playing in that loaded receiver room with Rome Odunze as well as McMillan, who will see his name called before too long. Excellent concentration, excellent hands down the field. Joel, when I watched him, I didn't always see a ton of separation. There was some concern and some questions about his speed. He ran faster than I anticipated at 4.52, but he wins a lot of contested balls.
He could use a little more polish in his route running, there's no doubt, but that spot at Washington was opened up when Puka Nacua went to BYU.
All right. Yeah.
So
there's one thing that I just got an earworm that bothers me, and I want to get Evan's take about the separation.
Yeah, I think that's legit, and that's where I come from when I say I don't think this is a true number one guy, because he's not, like I said earlier, his speed does not jump off the tape at you. Like when you watch him play, he catches everything thrown his direction, and what he's really good at is like what you're seeing on this screen right now. He'll stack defenders and get them on his back, and then make catches through contact with them on his back. That's sort of, I don't necessarily think that he's a jump ball receiver. I think he's a contested receiver, and there's a difference. There's a difference
because
there.
of his focus.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to go climb the ladder and catch it over somebody. I think what he's going to do is he's going to catch it in traffic.
Yeah,
and he's going to catch it with people on him. So there's a lot of scouts that really like Jalen Polk a ton. Very productive player, and we talked earlier about. Well, if you went with Drake Maye and Kingsley Sumatia or Drake Maye and A.D. Mitchell, it's a very boomer bust draft. You know what you're going to get with Jalen Polk. Jalen Polk is a floor prospect. He's not necessarily a ceiling guy.
Yeah. So we're going to be joined by Elliot Wolf momentarily. Questions? Anyone?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. What stands out? What do they like about him? And how do they think he's going to kind of fit with Drake? And what's the benefit of bringing those guys in together? I think you always like. I don't know if you can use the handcuffing term like you do in.
Do we have to be careful about anointing Drake the starter from day one?
No, sure.
It should be for the offense.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess where my brain goes is just having two young players.
Be careful about that. We don't.
But just having two, building that chemistry right out of the gate, and two guys who, maybe they're roommates. That kind of thing tends to happen a lot, especially with those two position groups. So, hopefully they can start building some chemistry. But it was a need, like the player. I think it'll be, again, we're getting to the point now where everybody's got some challenges and some warts, but I think it's a good pick. And now we start to think about what's next. How do they double dip? Do they go back to receiver? Do they tack to defense now? Do they try to hit one of these tackles?
Do they start packaging and move back up into the third round?
Why not double dip? If the receiver class is as deep as Evan and others have said, why not double dip?
Yeah, that's what I do wonder, and he's not going to tell us, but I'll probably try to ask anyways. If you go out and get Drake Maye's guy Tez Walker, who's 6'3" with a 4.3. That's your separation. Like, that's your vertical threat. This is your chain mover. Jalen Polk's a chain moving
I'm watching some
receiver.
of the highlights, and there's a few of these plays that he does create. He's behind right there. He creates a fair amount of separation.
Yeah,
I hate the fact that his highlight clip starts with a pass that's deflected by a defensive back, and he catches it.
That's on them. That's not on him.
No, it's not his fault. I just hate the fact that they put together a package, and that's the first play we see.
Well, yell at Michael Penix.
So if
No, I'm saying he should have some plays.
But he said
ideally
he had good focus.
Just for the record, that used to be part of my job, and I would have made sure that a better clip got in there.
Okay.
Right?
Do you understand my point?
Yes.
I have a question. It might be an Evan question or everyone question. If Polk was on a different team, not in the shadows of Rome Odunze, do we think that he would have had different production, or do you think he was more productive because of Odunze?
I can't answer that. I have no idea.
I think he was perfectly casted at Washington, where Rome Odunze was the number one guy there, and Polk was the machine. He's the straw. He's the straw that stirs the drink, so to speak. And Odunze is the one that's got the coverage tilted his way and all that kind of stuff. That's it's a good player, and I'm not trying to downplay that. And like I said earlier, I think the most important thing here is that he's a floor player.
Yeah.
And when they drafted such a traits-based quarterback that has really high potential and upside, but isn't necessarily an immediate contribution, Jalen Polk is a safer pick.
All right, joining us now is Cam Williams, down in the football area of Gillette Stadium. Can you hear us?
I got you.
All right, Cam.
How are we doing, Fred?
What's up,
Pretty
Cam?
good. You're here with Tamara as well. Tamara
What's up,
Brown, Mike Dussault, Evan Lazar, and Paul Perillo. So first off, you got a wide receiver with your second pick. Tell us a little bit about Jalen Polk.
Yeah, we're really excited. Jalen, he had a really good year this year. He was really fun to watch. I think the biggest piece for us was just to see him continue to ascend throughout the year. He was just a guy that every time we watched him, we liked him more. He catches the heck out of the ball. He's strong. He's physical. He's tough. He's really dependable and a really QB-friendly option for the quarterback, which we're really excited about. So he's a really good player.
Great. Tamara has a question.
Hi, Cam.
Hey,
when you're investing in a young quarterback like Drake Maye, was it first priority to go after a weapon to grow with him during his time, or was it kind of just the best player available for you guys?
A little bit of both. I think at the end of the day, obviously it's important to add weapons. I mean, you hear Elliott talk as well as Gerard just about weaponizing the offense, and I think he adds to that. It's definitely important just to put the offensive players, like especially Jacoby and Drake, both in position to succeed, and I think this is another player that's going to help them do that.
Yep.
Cam, when we talked to Elliott in his pre-draft press conference, he mentioned that 3x1 backside receiver. I'm just curious, where do you guys see Jalen Polk fitting into the puzzle in terms of where he's going to play XZ or whatever?
Definitely brings a component of that. Definitely brings versatility to the game. He's a guy that played outside and inside, so he's got some slot to him. I would assume more of a perimeter skill set. That's kind of where he makes his money. Especially, he can win on the backside. He can play physical inside against smaller corners. He's kind of a good mismatch option in that way.
Yeah, you moved around a little bit in the second round. How busy were the phones, and do you think that there's a chance maybe now you might move back into the second round?
Yeah, you never know with the draft. It's always player driven and just kind of how the chips fall. And we were able to move back and pick up a fourth and move up in that way. So that was helpful for us to potentially get some capital to move up, or you know, just get a better player earlier. So definitely a good opportunity to trade back and still get the opportunity to get Jalen, which was awesome.
Okay.
One more for you, Cam. Tyler Hughes, obviously on the staff and was at Washington last year, receivers coach here now. How much influence did he have on this pick and being there with Jalen last year?
Yeah, there was definitely a comfortability we had with Jalen, just given Tyler's experience with him. He obviously spoke really highly of him, and that's, where we felt comfortable with the person and the player. I think that's something that we fell in love with, along with the tape, was just his mentality, his growth mindset, his toughness, his work ethic, and those are the types of things and discussions that Tyler added context to with the dude, which was awesome. So it was good to have Tyler in the building to help us through that.
Well, Cam, we'll let you get back to work. I know you guys are pretty busy. The night is far from over, so thank you for joining us, and good luck for the rest of the night.
Of course. Thanks, team.
Cam Williams.
Appreciate it, guys.
Cam Williams on the WebEx
So,
Instant Reaction.
Drake Maye weighs in on Twitter on the pick. He said, "Stud, let's work," with a fire emoji.
Okay.
So he's excited.
I can't believe he's still awake. But good
He's
for
giving
him.
me like Energizer Bunny vibes.
I know. I
Yeah.
mean, where is he right now? I can't even imagine. Bouncing up and down somewhere. But so we got a little bit of time now before the Patriots will pick again there in the third round.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
some time to let some of this stuff play out. I'm curious with the tackle need. How long do these guys like Patrick Paul, Blake Fisher, some of the guys we've mentioned already, how long do those guys last? And with this being such a need, is there a chance to use one of those fourth round picks and the third round pick to move back up in here into the second round maybe and try to get one of those tackles? I mean, I think if you could come out of the second round with a play like that where you've kind of checked those boxes. Now, granted, Polk, whichever tackle they took, needs some development, but for the most part, you've kind of addressed your top three needs in the first two rounds. I think it'd be kind of a slam dunk, even if they have to wait till the fifth.
So I forgot which one of us said this. It might have been Evan, but I feel like they think their offensive line is in a lot better shape than we do, and maybe not necessarily a huge need.
Yeah,
for right now.
It's true. I think Evan might have said it, but from what they're talking, I think they do think their offensive line isn't as bad as it seemed last year. And, part of that, I hate to say it, was coaching, and so, hopefully that will improve this year. But, who knows what the odds are. But if you're in the game or betting on the game, you'll need a game plan. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots, provides you with everything you need to build your personal betting game plan so you can get in on all the action while practicing safe bets. Let's just be safe about it. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn more about all the safe betting tools DraftKings has to offer. Hope is here, 800-327-5050 or gamblinghelplinema.org. Must be 21 plus. Play it smart from the start. GameSenseMA.com. Physically present in Massachusetts. See DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming for details and state-specific responsible gaming resource. All right. Good time for a break. Matt Morrell's is busy talking. Good time for a break? All right. Let's take a break. We'll be right back.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. Better with Pepsi.
Without good blocking, your team's not going anywhere. Cisco blocks cyber attacks for customers around the world, including the entire Fortune 100 and the NFL. Because when the game is on the line, and it's always on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only. When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like my plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get my plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get my plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, back here on Patriots Unfiltered. The picks are coming in a lot faster than yesterday, as is the case with round 2 as compared to round 1. Of course, the Patriots picked Jalen Polk from Washington, wide receiver. We talked to Cam Williams right after the pick with some instant analysis. While we were away, the Titans picked Tavondre Sweat out of Texas, defensive tackle. The Rams picked Braden Fisk out of Florida State, another defensive tackle. And the Eagles picked Cooper DeJean from Iowa, cornerback. And that's somebody that Evan liked, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
DeJean.
DeJean?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Deuce did too.
Yeah. So that leaves the Saints on the board at the...
No. They
No?
just
Oh,
trade.
we got
Pick is in.
Pick is in for who? I can't see that.
New Orleans.
Saints.
Oh, the Saints.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a trade.
It was a trade?
It said trade, and then it said pick is in.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I still have this. Anyway, so that's the 9th pick of the second round, the 41st overall. All right. So we talked to Cam Williams. Obviously, he's not ruling out a chance that the Patriots could move back into the second round. You know?
Yeah.
They certainly have the ammunition to do it.
Yeah.
They've got a high 3rd-round pick and 2 4th-round picks.
I think, like he mentioned, like they have to continue to put their money where their mouth is. They did all this talking about weaponizing the offense, and now they need to weaponize the offense, considering they didn't really do that in free agency.
Yeah, well, you're not going to, from this point on, like, there's no, stud offensive guys. So if you're really looking for that type of weapon, you're going to have to trade for somebody.
For sure.
But, we're still talking tackle. Yeah, I know that's not a weapon, but tackles help the weapons perform. So, and there's still some good tackles out there.
Yeah.
Hey, Kool-Aid. Yeah. Kool-Aid McKinstry goes to the Saints.
Hey, we were just talking about him.
We were just talking about him. So things are happening. The Texans are on the board, on the clock right now. Deuce and yourself, Tamara, went out to film something. Is that where you were? Or?
I went to get my laptop.
Oh, you went to get your laptop.
Yeah. So I can be ready to go for when we talk to Mr. Polk.
Deuce is going to film something.
Yeah. Deuce and Evan are filming a debrief on Jalen Polk.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see. Who do we got? If the Patriots hold tight, it's going to be a while before they pick. But the best running back left on the board now is Jonathan Brooks from Texas. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he's the number one running back. But who are you looking to take a running back?
Well, we're just thinking about weaponizing.
Oh,
and
God, please, no.
And so if you get into the third round and he's still there.
No.
I would take another wide receiver before I took a running back.
Yeah, I'd rather double dip on wide receiver, especially when you look at our current room and we're not really overly impressed with it. And just like you said, it's not like any of these guys right now today are going to move the needle, but hey, why not bring some other guys in the mix that we haven't seen yet and see what they can do?
I mean, they have Stevenson and Gibson. I think that you can fill in the other spots and figure out if it's Kevin Harris or somebody else, but I think they have too many needs.
That's something you can get in the 5th round.
To worry about filling backup spots.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just thought maybe, the best running back, if you had the shot at him later, in the 3rd round, not worth the value.
I mean, if he was like an unbelievably dynamic, versatile weapon, like Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson were last year, then, I would understand the skill set. Obviously, guys with that skill set, they went where they went, top half of the 1st round. But I don't think that these guys are like that.
Who are we talking about?
Fred wants to take a running back in the 3rd round.
4th round.
4th round?
4th round. I really wonder if they added that 4th round pick to maybe try to set up a double dip at receiver or tackle and then also still get a running back, because that's when the run of running backs is going to happen, I would think.
Robin San Diego via Connecticut. Excited we picked a wide receiver. However, already a lot on social media about his slowness, contested catches in comparisons to N'Keal Harry. Can you describe the difference in these players?
I don't really see N'Keal Harry.
No. So Jalen Polk is very, very good route runner.
Yeah.
Crafty route runner, heady route runner. I think contested catch is the wrong term to use. I would prefer to use a guy that finishes through contact. And maybe that's like a semantics thing, but I think there is a difference. I think when people hear contested catches, they think of Devontae Parker catching 50-50 balls on the outside. This is more that he's got really good play strength and catch, really strong hands at the catch point. That when guys are in man coverage and then they, get on him at the catch point, he's able to finish through that and power through it. I see like a power slot Z type of receiver here, not N'Keal Harry. Like, this guy can run routes. He can get off the line of scrimmage. He's got some burst. He's got really good hands. That doesn't make him a jump ball receiver. He's just got really good hands.
Who's his player comp?
So the 2 comps that I use, and I just joked with Deuce, one of them I stopped using because Rashee Rice decided to go speeding down the highway. But I see a lot of Rashee Rice in his game, and I see a lot of Kendrick Bourne in his game as well. Sneaky, good after the catch. He's got some burst after the catch. But those guys that are, good route runners, strong hands, can make some acrobatic catches every once in a while, can beat man coverage, but not necessarily that top of the depth chart.
Yeah,
guy.
a solid receiver.
And I loved Rashee Rice last year in the draft. Yeah. I like that kind of a skill set, the versatility. I don't know if this guy is as fast, but, I don't know what they timed. I'm talking about on the field fast, and not being snarky about his driving. I was talking about actual on-field speed.
Yeah.
Some people, I think, like I had sort of talked about what Daniel Jeremiah did and tweeted out, like excellent number 2 potential, and people are like taking that as like a negative. I don't really understand. Like,
well, people are clamoring for the number 1 receiver, and I get that.
But there are not a lot of number 1 receivers that you target in the 2nd round.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, that like right out of the chute. Now I'm not telling you can't be a number. Like Terry McLaurin was like a 3rd round pick. He's a number 1 guy.
Yep.
I'm not telling you can't find them, but I don't necessarily think you go into the 37th pick saying I have to find my number 1 guy right here.
Yeah.
No, I mean maybe he turns out to be better than we think, and he's the number 1 receiver.
And
in
that
2
happens
years.
quite often.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Bill in Vista, California, love the pick so far. I'd love to double dip today, however. The wide receiver room should be a bloodbath, so natural selection can prevail. I say no one is safe, and may the best man win.
If you pick 2 guys, it's not going to be a bloodbath.
No.
If you pick 2 good receivers in the 2nd and 3rd round, then there's guys that won't be on the team.
Yeah.
Like I don't think it's going to be. They don't have a lot of NFL caliber receivers. I'm sorry. They have a lot of names. They don't have a lot. Like Tyquan Thornton is not proven to be an NFL receiver.
Absolutely not.
Let's see. Alex writes in, yes, Paul, count me as one of the North Carolina residents who was out on Drake Maye. However,
that's 3.
I'm a Wolfpack alum, and the only tape I've watched on Maye up to last night was him versus North Carolina State. Now, I'll take back what I said, because after seeing more tape, good and bad, I see the potential you all been talking about the last few months.
These are my people.
I still have my concerns on how he develops, but that's given with every high draft pick. I will say
that the Patriots make.
The Patriots will have one of the most competitive teams for years to come. I think there's something to be said about the last 2 first-round picks for the Patriots, Maye and Gonzalez, growing up in such competitive households and hating to lose in the small things against their family members. Added bonus, both players feel like they were the runt and on tape look like they play with that chip on their shoulder. To me, that's great signs
Get
of
that dog in them, Deuce.
Great signs of that type team I want to see the Patriots have again.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't. Okay, I wouldn't say that about Christian Gonzalez.
Well, the sisters were good athletes.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that. The knock on Christian Gonzalez is that he didn't have enough dog in him, like that.
Oh, yeah.
Like
I was making fun of Deuce.
I know. I'm just making sure.
So the Rams struck gold. The Rams struck gold with star rookie wide receiver Puka Nacua, who somehow fell to the 5th round. I bet no one saw number 1 there either. Yeah, no. And Cooper Kupp is there number 1. like I'll take Jalen Polk if he turns out to be a number 2, like Puka Nacua.
I mean,
we're gonna laugh at that. I'll take that in a blink.
I don't think that Puka Nacua had a very unique pre-draft process where I think he had an injury or something where he had a horrible combine in pro day. But what the Rams were really attracted to him was with the advanced analytics, the game tracking data showed that he was an extremely fast player with pads on in game, tracking his miles per hour and things like that. And so, he was another one of those guys that had a great gauntlet drill. He's football fast, whereas some guys are track fast. He's football fast. And you could make the case, I'm not saying he's going to be Puka Nacua, but you could make the case that Jalen Polk is also football fast, but isn't necessarily going to go out and run the fastest 40-yard dash.
You know who was football fast? Jerry Rice.
There you go.
Yeah.
He's like a 4.6.
Speaking of Jerry
So
Rice,
now he's Jerry Rice.
What do we think of his son?
What happened?
Brendan Rice.
Did he go? Or are you saying just
No,
generally?
what do we think of him?
Oh,
yeah.
He's okay?
Later guy. Good size.
Okay.
Yeah. Caught a lot of
Not
touchdowns.
your favorite wide receiver?
Good red zone guy for Caleb Williams. But yeah, no, I'd be in on Brendan Rice. He was a big board guy for me. But that's kind of like a developmental X outside kind of a guy. And I don't know. I still see a need for something like that. Like, as much as I think that Jalen Polk kind of fits the mold, it's maybe not the tailored presence that you would hope on the outside. I think
I'm going to start calling him Puka Nacua because that'll get people a little bit more excited, I think, than some of the other comps I've thrown out there. I think there's the one thing that and I agree with you completely, Deuce, that they could still use that outside guy. But I wonder in this type of offense, you look at a lot of these types of receivers that the Packers, the Niners, the Rams, like those teams are attracted to. Play strength is a major trait that those teams all are attracted to. Like you talk about Nacua, Cooper Kupp, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, the guys in Green Bay, Dobbs and Watson and the guy Jaden Reed from last year.
Yep.
Like those guys are all strong players and can block and can run that outside zone scheme. And then, create chunks off the play actions and things like that. So this is a very like Rams Niners type of receiver. I would say.
Oh, I mean, I think we like the guy coming out, Christian Watson. You mentioned the Packers, that kind of height, speed, just kind of the full package. And I talk about 100 times when we were up there in Green Bay, but you can just still see the potential that guy has with, that, and that's what I'd like. Like Keon Coleman, it's like appealing to have some size like he has, but you just want to find a guy with size that moves really well, and those are guys that are usually first-round picks. And once you get here, if he's that big, he probably doesn't run as well as you'd hope. He's going to be 4'5", 4'6".
Isaac says, greetings from Winnipeg. Just wanted to complain about Mr. Lazar. He talked so bad about Bo Nix that I had him pictured in my mind as Brian Hoyer. Was surprised yesterday when I saw he has the same baby face as May. Okay, so that changed your mind?
Yeah, I don't have. I'm up further. Barth is definitely lower on Bo Nix than I am. The whole thing with Bo Nix is just Bo Nix was the floor prospect of this quarterback class. He is what he is. He's 24 years old. He's going to press the right buttons on the controller, but is he going to go outside the lines and make his own masterpiece? Like, probably not. And that's Bo Nix. And that at 3 overall is just not what you're looking for. You're looking for the guy that's going to, draw up the Mona Lisa, not the guy that's just going to do the coloring book,
Mike in the OC. Fred, you love Debo, and you consider him the best football player in the league. With the trade rumors heating up today, do you think acquiring Debo is the right move for this team, or should we stand pat and find receivers in the draft to develop? I like the Polk pick, but I would love to get Roman Wilson or even Tez Walker to give the team one more developmental receiver.
Yeah, I think Tez Walker could still be on the table.
I love the Tez Walker idea now.
It is just interesting to me though. I mean, like I said, this is 10 receivers they have on the roster right now. So 10. I mean, it's a lot. And if you add an 11th, it just the message it kind of sends is that this is a position group's gonna be turned over largely. I mean, they brought back Kendrick Bourne. He ain't going anywhere. Pop Douglas ain't going anywhere. After that, it's all kind of on the table.
I would say KJ Osborne and
him too.
This guy aren't going anywhere.
Yeah,
I
so
think
there's
the rest,
4.
I think the rest of the jobs have to be won.
Yeah.
Oh, Steph's on.
Oh.
Okay, so let's go to the first press conference with the media with Jalen Polk.
The Eagles took Cooper DeJean.
Okay. All right. We'll scuttle that plan. Okay. We can see him, but we can't hear him. So while we're waiting for that audio to come through.
He's got the hat already though,
So my first question is, where is he?
Yeah. Yeah. Looks like he's
Yeah. So what am I hearing? I'm hearing something.
No, that's from Tamara.
Oh, that's Tamara's phone. All right. So Chad at Atlanta says, I don't get it. Polk is Kendrick Bourne. We have enough number 2 wide receivers. Did A.D. Mitchell get taken already and I missed it? What gives?
He did not get taken yet.
Yeah.
So which tells me there's something going on with A.D. Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell's getting DeJuan Jones right now. So we're going to get a million emails about why the Patriots are not jumping on A.D. Mitchell. The league is not jumping on A.D. Mitchell. There's something going on with A.D. Mitchell that's causing him to fall. I'm not trying to get annoyed with the listeners, but let's keep up a little bit and recognize that there's something going on with A.D. Mitchell, and that's why he's not getting taken by anybody, not just the Patriots.
Yeah. He's sliding, as they say.
Yeah, I mean, it happens every year, and you don't know what the reason is. I mean, and honestly, I think what we talked about earlier is a great point. Like a kid like this who has been dealing with something, you get him into a professional environment, you would hope that they'd really get that taken care of. So I'm sure sooner or later some team's going to take a swing on him, and hope that they can figure out what was going on with him. I know he had some issues at the combine. That was also part of what McGinn pointed out. But I think for all the fact that Polk might not be that number 1 and that outside kind of presence purely on paper, it certainly seems like Polk is a reliable receiver that seems to keep developing, and Evan and I, we just shot a quick YouTube kind of recap of the pick, and he feels like a solid NFL player. And I don't know if that, to some people that probably is annoying, but at this point in the draft, I think you take a shot on a guy like that. You see how he develops. Maybe Drake Maye has a nice connection with him. And I liked what Cam Williams had to say about him too, that he has probably a little bit more versatility that you might think. So. I do like the pick. I get what people are saying about, you want kind of that name, and, A.D. Mitchell has the 40 time and, the size and all those traits that you really feel like they need. But I do think Polk's a solid player.
And I just want to be kind of consistent here. I'm banking on the red flags with A.D. Mitchell.
Yeah.
Like the Bob McGinn report from today. If that turns out to be not a big deal, and someone picks him and he's fine for the next 10 years, I'll be pissed.
Yeah, then it's a miss.
Because that's a huge miss to me.
Right.
Because I think the other guy is much more talented. Mitchell, I think, is much more talented.
No doubt.
But I am banking on the Bob McGinn. He has this stuff every year that he sort of in dribs and drabs, he trickles this stuff out on draft weekend.
And where's he from, Bob McGinn?
Green Bay.
Yeah, it used to be Green Bay, and I think he's like his own site now. He's writes for.
Other picks that have happened since of course, McKinstry went to Alabama.
Your boy just went, Freddie,
Yeah.
to the Panthers, Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
Cooper DeJean went to the Eagles.
Yeah, I saw Max Melton too went to the Cardinals. He was another guy I really liked.
So we got since the Patriots pick, we got Devondre Sweat, who just got arrested for DWI like a couple weeks ago. So that guy got picked before A.D. Mitchell got picked, and he's actually in a criminal trial right now. Devondre Sweat, Braden Fiskey from Florida State, who I loved, is just a high motor interior pass rusher. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, Kamari Lassiter from Georgia, Max Melton, Jackson Powers Johnson, Edgerrin Cooper, Jonathan Brooks.
Okay, let's see if we can get Jalen right now. Nope, I guess not. All right. No, Matt, not working. Okay, all right. So the running back, the top rate. Oh, here we go.
Like that they put in. So, it's an honor for me to be able to represent the name that's on my back, and I'm excited to go put even more smiles on their face and for the things that I'm about to go do for this team.
Thank you, and congratulations again.
Appreciate it.
So 2 final questions here, starting with Doug Kyde.
Hey, Jalen, congratulations and welcome to New England. Can you take us through your experience playing the different receiving roles in an offense, the X, the Z, the slot, all those different kinds?
Yeah, I think, being an elite player, you got to be able to know how to move around and do different things and, be able to go out there and contribute, to your offense. So, being versatile, being able to move inside, outside, know what everybody's doing on the field is very important. So, I think it's my job to, know as much as I can, to go out there and make plays for those guys that are putting in work, each and every play. So, I want to put my quarterback in the best situation possible. So, I know I'm going to be able to go out there and make plays for him. So, and just being able to help other guys around me make their job easier as well. So, when that guy's lining up next to me, he can trust me, put in the trust in me that, I'm going to be able to know what I'm going to do, and, we can feed off each other and be able to communicate and help each other as well.
And one other quick question. How much contact did you have with the Patriots before the draft?
I had an opportunity to have a couple interviews and stuff. So it was awesome. And, I'm super excited to be a part of this organization.
Thank you, Jalen.
We have a couple more questions here, so we'll go to Taylor Kyles.
Jalen, hello. Welcome to New England. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Watching that Washington offense, man, you guys were bombs away, a lot of success downfield. For your game specifically, I'm wondering, how would you describe your strengths and your ability to have success in that downfield role, especially with a quarterback like Drake Maye, who loves to throw those kinds of passes?
My mindset is just be different. A lot of guys are putting in a lot of work. So in order to separate yourself, you got to find a way that, you can be different within yourself. So, challenging myself, finding my weaknesses, the things that I need to work on to be able to excel in my game and, separate myself from the best. So, just continuously have that, high standard mindset of, wanting to be better each and every day. and pushing the guys around me as well, being a leader. So, I think, what I bring to the table and feeding off the other guys as well is what's gonna make us true to our game and capable of the things that we're gonna be able to do outside on the field.
And to that point, is there a specific area of your game that you would say you're actively trying to work on?
I'm always trying to find a way to get better, just, having more energy in my routes, being more efficient coming out of my breaks. So, that's something that, I had the opportunity to work on, with my trainer, Delfonte, these past couple weeks, leading up to this process and, being more explosive, being able to break off those tackles, make that extra guy miss, utilizing my body and my strengths, knowing that, I'm a physical receiver, stiff arming a guy and making that guy miss. So, I'm excited to be able to, show the world, what I can do again and go help this team win games.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Congratulations again.
Sure, appreciate it.
Nick Giovanni.
Hey, Jalen, congratulations and welcome. Just hoping you kind of like, who would you compare your game to from, modern day players in the league? Who'd you look up to? Who'd you, model your game after? And, for those who don't know your playing style, just how would you describe it?
Yeah, man, I watch guys like Andre Johnson, Keenan Allen, and, Keenan Allen, one of those guys who made a major factor of, who I watch on film. So, his ability just to make guys miss and, go up and keep his balance and go get those extra yards and, having that certain dog mentality of, going to lead his team. So, and his releases are pretty good. So, watching his releases, the things that he does in order for him to be able to create separation is elite. So, I always try to, find an opportunity to watch guys, that are elite at what they do. So it's because it's a reason why, they're doing what they're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All the questions that we have for today. So thank you so much for joining us.
All right.
I like that Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, ceiling, but if you're looking for, who could he be if he absolutely hits his ceiling and is, Terry McLaurin of the second round, then I see Keenan Allen. I can see
no shortage of confidence on him.
He's a pretty smooth guy, yeah.
Being an elite player, you have to be able to move around and do different things. I like that one. I just think it's I like the idea of, maybe people are put off because he's been described as like a number 2 receiver. Well, he doesn't act like one, and I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Ashton,
and he was in Houston, I guess, at a draft party, at his draft party with his family.
Ashton from Louisiana, good question. Where does Polk fall right now on the depth chart?
I think like Paul listed off. I mean,
that's tough. We haven't even seen him play.
How the hell do we know?
Yeah. Well, just take it.
I mean, you got Pop Douglas who's going to play in the slot. That's his role.
Yeah.
KJ Osborne I think is also kind of a slot, but you got to put him up there. Kendrick Bourne's coming off an injury, so I mean, really, right now I'd put him, 4th or 5th. I mean, it's just I don't know what Juju Smith-Schuster is going to look like.
I'd put him 2.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
But I don't he's never stepped
sight
foot
unseen.
on the field.
Sight unseen.
It's also kind of, we talked so much about this, Paul, with J.J. McCarthy. Because Rome Odunze was in Washington's offense, we've never seen the offense run through Jalen Polk because Jalen Polk never had that opportunity at Washington. I'm not saying that he's going to be able to do it because we haven't seen it. So if we see it, maybe he is Keenan Allen. Like maybe he can be Terry McLaurin. Like those are also guys who, Keenan Allen maybe not as much, but like McLaurin at Ohio State, the offense never ran through him. He never got the ball. That's what it was the whole knock on him. So I can see him being a second wide receiver. I think a lot of people are getting upset about that. But I think that he's a really good second receiver if he hits his ceiling. That a high end wide receiver too.
When does a like certain receivers like Terry McLaurin, like no one thought he was going to be as good as he is, right?
Yeah.
Like what are the factors that actually a receiver performs better in the NFL than they did in college?
I'll give you a guy who thought he was going to be great is our own Eldred.
Yeah.
I mean, he loved McLaurin. coming
Yeah,
out.
I thought a lot of people did.
I
I
think
mean,
people were high on him coming out. I thought he slipped.
I would say somewhere in the area, Fred, of having play speed. Like the measurables didn't blow you away, but you're like, this guy just got it. Like you look out there, he knows how to get open, and yeah, maybe he's not a burner, but it looks smooth, and he gets to the right spots, and he catches the ball consistently.
Is there something to the to maybe some of these receivers are actually better than their quarterback? But they just can't show it because their quarterback's just not good enough
the reverse 2023 Patriots.
Like I'm NFL open, you just don't see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that was the case at Washington last year with Penix, but I think
I'm just in general,
Yeah, I think with Polk, there's a lot of NFL open with him on tape that he's got such great hands and play strength and body control that even though he's not creating oodles of separation, he's open. And a guy like Drake Maye will be able to get him the ball in those situations, and he's not afraid to be aggressive and throw it into those windows. So I do like that pairing for that reason. I think this is a receiver that has really, really good hands and really good play strength and really good route running with a quarterback that has the arm to fit it into some tighter windows if he has to him. So we'll see what happens. I just with Polk, I think the biggest thing is that you really need to have a complementary piece on the outside, if you ask me, to really get the most out of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I would just say back to the receiving core in general. I mean, if it works out, I think you're talking about you're hoping that it's Bourne, Polk, and Osborne are your top three guys. I mean, he's never stepped on the field. I'm not.
No, I know.
I don't want to put undue expectations on him, but you drafted this guy to be a big piece, and you got to hope that this is not like N'Keal Harry and Tyquan Thornton and other guys that you drafted to be big pieces that never were.
Tyler Nubin from safety out of Minnesota
I thought he wrote in.
Goes to the Giants. And Mason Smith, defensive tackle out of LSU, goes to the Panthers.
Yeah, I actually, Mason Smith was a big board guy for
Jaguars.
me.
Jaguars, I'm sorry.
I liked him. I mean, I didn't think it was a huge need, but I just thought he was a Patriots kind of fit and, big kind of,
Chris
five
Jenkins
technique
to Michigan,
type.
another one that just went to the Bengals.
No, that's a good one.
Another Patriot type of guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I Tyler Nubin I was late to him in the process, but a free safety, true free safety prospect, but not very aggressive in terms of like jumping passing lanes and stuff like that. His tape kind of reminded me a lot of Duron Harmon, where it's like, yeah, he's on the post, like he's there every single time he needs to be there, and he's kind of the nobody over like what's it, deep as his deepest, right? I think is what they usually term it as.
GTFB.
Yeah, exactly. But is not like this aggressive ball hawking, attacking free safety that's going to make these splash plays. Is more going to just be positionally sound and where he needs to be. So I liked him this is high for the Patriots to take him here.
Yeah.
If he fell a little bit because of that, then maybe I could have seen that in like the third or fourth round.
Okay, let's get back to the phones. 855-PATS-500. We'll start with Joe in Colorado. What's up, Joe?
Hey, guys. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
Oh, thank you.
So I was watching with the sound off, and I saw Lad McConkey answering the phone. I got real excited. Then when we realized what happened.
Oh, you're hurting Fred
really
right
got me.
now.
I know.
It's pouring salt in the wound.
Yeah.
But anyways, when they traded down, I really thought they should have traded down again and just gone with a defensive guy. Because it seems like there's about 10 guys that are comparable that are going to be there in the third.
You mean receivers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who?
I mean, what about Walker, first of all, the guy that played with me?
Yeah, he's a totally different player, though.
True.
Yeah, totally different player. I think that, yeah, there's some guys, Roman Wilson, I think would be somewhat comparable. Jalen McMillan, his teammate at Washington. But, the guys that are left on the board, Troy Franklin, Javon Baker, Tez Walker, those are different types of receivers, different skill sets than what he's got.
Well, and I would just ask, like, what did you want to trade down for? Like, what did you, not necessarily the player, but like, what were you looking to pick up? because the last trade down, warranted like moving up 20 spots in the 5th round.
True, but I feel like with all the defensive players is really strong at the end of this round. So I mean, just anyone.
No, I know, but like I said, it's not like trading down was necessarily adding picks. So you're just moving down and then you're sliding up in later rounds to make up for it. I don't really know if you were getting anything out of it
in terms of assets,
right? And that's my only point. I mean, I think that I don't know. We'll watch some of these wide receivers that go later. There's some that I like.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
and I'll be watching to see if they're better than Polk.
Yeah, Malachi Corley. That'd be a comp for me to see.
Yeah, there's something about and I know I can't get Tyquan Thornton out of my mind, but there's something about Troy Franklin that I really like.
Yeah.
And I just look at him and I see a guy like Brandon Cooks.
Yeah.
Or even Christian
explosive.
Kirk. Like an explosive guy that can, those seam goes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big plays.
I think my problem with Troy Franklin was that Evan scared me off of him.
That sounds about right. Scare me off of him. I think he's 178 pounds at the combine or whatever. Like that scared me off.
And that was one of my big things from last year. Was I can't let Evan scare me off of guys because you'll be off a guy and then you'll be like, well, I'm kind of back on it. Because you're kind of like. When you're there, and then but you're open-minded. I feel like, and you'll look at guys more and develop.
I feel the same exact way about Keon Coleman as I do with Troy Franklin. I see potential for both those guys to be really good NFL players. I just don't want to find out if we're the team that's gonna find out. Like I don't want us to be the team that finds out. That's it.
Right.
Because of PTSD from past Patriots guys. Keon Coleman could go on to be a star in Buffalo. There's no doubt about it. That's why I had him as my 7th ranked receiver in the class. Like I see the talent. It's just that the red flags with his film, not saying he has red flags character-wise or anything, but the red flags with his film line up with the same red flags that we had with N'Keal Harry. I don't want to be the team that has to develop Keon Coleman. Let Buffalo worry about that.
Yeah.
We'll take Jalen Polk.
I didn't love Coleman.
We'll take Jalen Polk, who's the solid route runner with the good hands and the feisty play strength and all that kind of stuff. And I'm happier with that because there's less volatility to it.
Sure.
How about Everett High School with 1st-round pick, 2nd-round pick, and a 4th-round pick, like in the last 4 years?
It's a factory, Paul. I mean, it must be something in the water.
Don't scoff at that.
No,
who's the last guy drafted out of Dennis Yarmouth?
DY?
The Dolphins?
Yeah, I don't know.
Are they the Dolphins?
They are the Dolphins.
DY Dolphins.
Is 80 still available?
He is.
Yeah, but we don't have guys that are 28 years old playing on our team.
You're not 28.
Oh my God.
27.
That's Michael Penix.
So would you take him, Evan?
I would have taken him at 33. Like obviously, there's something out there about A.D. Mitchell. Like there's obviously something going on.
Mark's in Connecticut. What's up, Mark?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, Mark.
Evan, how far down do you think A.D. Mitchell's going to go?
Who knows?
And then the other question is, Theo Johnson is my tight end in this draft, and I'm wondering when you think he's going to go, because I think he's got the most upside of tight end because he's big.
Penn State.
He can catch really well, so I just wanted your take on those things.
Yeah, A.D. Mitchell, I'm operating under the assumption that A.D. Mitchell is in a similar spot as DeJuan Jones was last year, so maybe the top of the 4th round is where we're talking with A.D. Mitchell at this point.
That's a crazy slide.
And then with Theo Johnson, the issue with Theo Johnson, he's got 0 college production. So his receiving profile is all projection. Like you are projecting because he's a freak athlete at 255 pounds that you are going to get that dip in, uptick in production at the NFL level. I think he had something like 19 catches last year at Penn State. Like he just has no production in college. Now, neither did George Kittle. So that happens. That's just the way that Penn State doesn't throw the ball to the tight end. Some schools don't. Iowa didn't, at the time with Kittle didn't throw the ball to him. Then he goes to the NFL. The Niners turn him into, what he is. So it's possible that he could blossom into that. But I think because of the lack of production in college, it's tough to use a top 100 pick on a guy that has like 20 career catches at the college level.
Who do you like in this draft?
I do like Jatavian Sanders. He's a little bit undersized. I love Ben Sinnott. And yeah, later in the draft, Wiley. But I like Theo Johnson enough. to take him as a early day 3 flyer, just off the athletic traits. But it scares me when you're trying to look at it and think, oh, like we're gonna turn this guy into a 1,000-yard receiver when he doesn't even have 1,000 yards over 4 years of college.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
Hot on tight ends.
Yeah. We got we got tagged in a tweet here from Peter Schrager. Interesting. Just NFL has been far higher on Polk this entire draft process. Patriots got themselves a good one. I had Polk going first round in my first mock last week. So
then we know he's
Peter Schrager, who actually, I kind of make fun of Peter Schrager a little bit, but he actually had a pretty good mock.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, Peter Schrager is actually one of the for all the heat that he does get, and you're not alone. In terms of being tapped into the league, he has he's not just tapped in with low level scouts. Like
he's an insider.
He's tapped in with the coaches and the GMs.
Yeah. What do you think of your guy, Alex Barth, calling himself NFL insider?
What did he call himself that?
This is good.
Online.
Where?
On 98.5's website.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
I'm
they
about to look
had
it up.
NFL Insider.
Somebody
Alex
was
Barth.
doing the Chiron for 98.5.
I think NFL analyst would be.
No, just said NFL Insider.
I'm gonna leave that there. I'm just gonna leave
I'm
that
gonna
there.
leave that there.
He had business cards made.
I read that and I yelled out from my office. What's the inside?
Not a.
Wait, it does.
I'm
NFL
not-
Insider hints at Patriots. Well, this is obviously a previously old article.
Yeah.
NFL Insider hints.
Okay,
at
well that's
Patriots
different. We all
turning
get
down
we
Jimmy
all get that. We all get the stupid aggregators that take something.
No, but
and
this
then-
was a
No, this is
98.5
on their
social
website.
media
It's
account.
It's
on
their
their
own.
website.
It's coming
Yeah.
from inside the house.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. So 98.5 aggregated something that Alex said.
No,
A.D. Mitchell.
Oh,
they
Colts.
Oh.
So that's funny because my comp for A.D. Mitchell is Michael Pittman Jr. So now they have 2 Michael Pittman Jr.'s on their team.
Right, but one has diabetes.
Oh my
God forbid.
Well, they do have a very strong
Also, this
mental
one.
health program in Indianapolis.
There you go. They got
Why
it
do
for
you know
their
that?
for their owner.
What?
Why do you know that?
That's his pet. Jim Irsay's pet program is mental health.
Okay.
He's had, I mean, national commercials.
Yeah.
I'm serious. They had national commercials about it, sponsored by the Colts.
He's a
So-
busy guy.
Fired up at that night.
Yeah. So, anyway.
Colts. Well,
That night.
Hey,
taking
listen,
a swing.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
I mean, before he got hurt, he was showing promise.
Sure.
They could be one of those teams that didn't see that coming.
Feels like there's a lot of teams. I mean, I went
Well,
through the NFC North, but
Since they lost on the last play of the game and missed out on the playoffs as a result in the last game of the season, I don't think people would be that stunned if you're right.
Well, if they're a powerhouse.
No, I don't know about a powerhouse, but I think they lost on the last play of the game to Houston. Well, not the last drive of the game. I don't want to make it overly dramatic. They right down to the last possession, they lost to Houston, and they would have been in had they beaten Houston.
And that was without Anthony Richardson.
Right.
And the Colts will be here at Gillette Stadium this year. So
And we're gonna watch A.D. Mitchell go for $150 right in front of
not if he's got low blood sugar. He'll be a pain in the ass to everybody.
Oh
And
my God.
Right.
Unbelievable.
I can't.
Get him some orange juice.
Snickers.
They never have nice things.
CJ and KC is on the
oh no
Ace Ticket Hotline. What's up, CJ?
Hey, what's up, guys? Oh, Mike, I'm Pat's fan.
I was just gonna say you must be miserable that they're rolling out Mr. 4-2 there in Kansas City.
Oh, I am absolutely miserable. I'm so upset. But I was hoping all night long, like you guys were, that they were going to trade back up in the first and do something like that. But great, I get to watch this all over again. So. But, hey, I was wondering what you guys obviously, A.D. Mitchell was the biggest thing that I've been, following you guys and listening to you guys and, trying to figure out how come nothing came out about why he fell so far yet.
Well, there has been stuff.
What came out?
Yeah, you guys want to talk about the Bob McGinn report?
Yeah, just reports that he was a little mercurial. He's dealing with, I joke, but I'm not trying to really joke about, he has diabetes. So, I mean, it's an issue that came out from
But
this
it's not that he
writer,
has diabetes, that he didn't manage it
that he doesn't
correctly.
manage it well, and he had some mood swings and stuff. So it's things that I think could be managed. And he also didn't have a great combine, and That also I think is what helped him fall a little
on
bit.
the field testing you're talking about. The
Yeah,
combine?
yeah.
Okay, because he ran like a 4.3.
Yeah, no, wasn't he dropping stuff left and right at the
that might be the case, but
yeah.
athletic profile is like one of his biggest strengths. And obviously just like tools, like he's just a really high upside player.
Toolsy.
But I would like to just like make like
it's not a tool,
a graphic if we could that says AD Mitchell fell because of this reason.
Yeah.
Because I understand that people aren't keeping up with the draft as much as we are, but this is like the 17th call we've gotten on it. So
what happened? He's gone now. So.
Evan's disdain for the callers just continues.
I mean, you have noticed that, right? I wasn't the only one.
I'm sorry.
Watch the draft before you call us, people.
I'm sorry, but it's like we're getting the same question every 5 minutes, and it's. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to.
I gotta say,
Mark in Fall River says, "quote: I'm not trying to get annoyed with the listeners, but let's keep up. I can't believe it was 1.5 hours into the second day of the draft show before I yelled, 'What a tool!' at Evan."
I gotta say though, Evan, I see your tweet here where it's like somebody's like just comping out of nowhere Jalen Polk to N'Keal Harry. Like when we got it yesterday with Drake Maye, it's just another Mac Jones. I don't get where people get these things. Do they even watch it, or they just say, "I hate that person. I hate this person."
No,
I'm just
I mean, I've comped Jalen Polk at this point to Boren. I said Rashee Rice. He said Keenan Allen, and we're somehow hearing all of those things and getting N'Keal Harry.
And I haven't really heard anybody say N'Keal Harry.
No, that would have
That's
been
weird.
Like
Also-
I'm talking by like the analysts.
That would have been Coleman.
Also, anyone saying that Mac Jones and Drake Maye are
No,
the same, like we
No.
need to
You're
go.
suspect. I
get our
can't
eyes
even
checked.
respond to you because that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Matt in New Haven. I don't understand the frustration with taking a number 2 receiver. If it all pans out, why is that? Why is it that it's not called starting caliber?
Yeah.
My
well,
other question is, do you think it's unreasonable to see him unseat Kendrick as the number 1?
No, but that doesn't make him a number 1.
Yeah, in terms of our depth chart, not talent, Paul, to your point.
Kendrick Bourne is not a number 1
as
receiver.
neither are number 1. He just said that.
Right.
Okay.
He's a 3.
Also, what do you
at
see the
best.
depth chart at wide receiver around mid-season? Well, again, it's hard. He's assuming maybe DeMario continues to develop, which would be great.
I think this is a me thing. I hate 1, 2, 3. I hate that stuff. I hate it.
I think it's somewhat overblown, but I think it's important. And I think the reason it's important is what I'm hoping isn't the case with Polk, but the presence of a Dunze to a Polk and to a Bourne.
Sure.
Those guys become better players when you have a 1.
Yeah, right. I think that's what it is. Like wide receiver 1, 2, 3, whatever. It's more like a coverage dictating receiver. Like who's the guy that when we play the Jets, that the Jets are going to look on the depth chart and say we have to put Sauce on this guy. We don't. He's got to be on this guy. Or who's the guy that when they play a team says, well, if we don't put the safety over on that side of the field, then we're going to be in trouble all game long. And that, to Paul's point, is what opens it up for everybody else in the offense. So it's a hierarchy.
Right, but isn't that predictable? I mean, wouldn't you rather have them say, we don't know who to put Sauce on?
No.
No. Just go follow him? Like, is that just too straightforward of an offense?
No, because now you're easy to defend.
Yeah.
But not necessarily. I mean, you need to challenge the field on all levels. You need speed, you need size, and you need quickness. And those are the elements in some kind of way.
But in your scenario, everybody is a competent receiver. So that no matter whether it's Drake Maye or Jacoby Brissett, he has reliable targets all over the field.
Yeah.
That's kind of hard.
Asking a lot.
Yeah.
I need a shiny toy. Yeah. I need something that everyone's like seeking after and wants. And right now there's no one in our wide receiver
But like
room
why
that
did the 2010 Patriots and the whole thing take Moss over the top away and get up on Welker, right? Moss was a number 1. You had number 1.
Not anymore.
You had but I mean
not in 2010 he wasn't.
But did anyone know that going what I mean?
The
the first 3
if we
games
just go
they
over the
started
top
to
and make sure
realize?
we don't just let him run down the field. They're powerless to beat us. They tried to do that in 07, and how'd that work? You got 23 touchdowns beating cover 2. Like, that's the difference between a guy who doesn't matter what you do. As Evan said, he's going to keep you up at night the night before. Now, I really, I don't want to put, again, I said this about 20 minutes ago about Polk. I don't want to put unnecessary pressure on him. I think that he has a chance to already be the best receiver they have.
Agreed. That's not a very high bar, but agreed.
No, because you could make an argument like, oh, Paul's being pissy about it because he's dumping on all the other receivers. No, I think this guy has a chance to be really good. I'm just hoping that he's not a product of Odunze and Penix. In an offense that was, let's face it, they threw the ball like 600 times. Like, the numbers are a little bit inflated. The production's a little bit. There's a lot of opportunity there. But I think he has the chance to be better than the guys they have.
Yeah, and I
think his skill set is higher than what they have.
And I think that's a really good way of putting it, because now if they can go out, and I know we keep on saying if, but if they can go out and make a Brandon Ayuk trade, or they can go out and get a T. Higgins or something like that, then you have a guy that is a true number 2 receiver. I'm with Paul on this. I don't know if any of their guys are actually number 2 receivers on a good team. Like, the Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. The Patriots don't have anybody on the same planet of either one of those guys on their roster.
You could make an argument that Devontae Smith is a number 1 on another team.
Right.
And people kind of look at him and say, well, he's really a number 2. Well, that's because A.J. Brown is really good.
Yeah, and that's why they tried to pay Calvin Ridley, is because Calvin Ridley is in sort of closer to that tier.
Well, speaking of Calvin Ridley, Emery writes in, do you think the Patriots would have still taken Polk if they pulled off the Ridley signing?
That's a great question.
I don't know. I'd say probably not. I just think I think it's a volume question at a certain point at the receiver position. I mean, I can get on board with, my kind of traits view of the receiver position of, trying to add a little bit of size. I mean, I think you've got some good speed, you've got some good toughness, you've got some quickness and pop. I still think they need, a little bit of size. I mean, and again, it all, it gets complicated as you talk about the speed factor.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little surprised. I mean, I don't think there's been a lot, because there's a lot of people that I'm in my timeline that are liking the pick too.
Your tight end went Ben Sinnott.
I'm a little surprised that there's been as many people not high on it though, and I just wondered, was everybody expecting they had to take a quarterback in the first round, right? We all kind of felt like that. There was a chance to get number 1 receivers in the first round, and they all went in the top 10. Like, if you're going to take Drake Maye, you can't get Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison.
Is everyone mostly upset because AD was there, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, that's what we need.
No, but I don't think maybe he'll be a number 1 receiver. I don't think he'll be a number 1 receiver either, but he does have more skills. Than Polk,
I think, look, Paul, you said it earlier, if all this stuff that caused AD Mitchell to slide this far ends up being BS and he ends up being a great pro, then we should sit here and criticize it.
You were talking about DeJuan Jones.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything bad out of DeJuan Jones last year.
Some of the guys here would maybe disagree.
No, I know that.
Yeah.
But I didn't hear it on the team that he's on. Like, what the guys are here are saying, I don't really care. He's not here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Daryl's in Georgia. Hey, Daryl.
Hey, guys. Love the show.
Thanks.
So I had a defensive question. This draft, nobody's really talking about defense. I was wondering if there's a need at linebacker or if there's a bigger need on defense anywhere.
Yeah,
I actually think. Oh, go ahead, Deuce.
No. Well, defense is mine, so shut up.
This is your.
No, I mean, I think for better or worse, I think they're probably pretty set at the linebacker, at least off the ball. I mean, I think edge, however you want to delineate the edge and outside linebacker and end and all that kind of stuff, but I think right now, really, that they're pretty happy. With what they have is in terms of the veterans, they've got Bentley and Tavai, who I think they really like, and they added Taki. They've got Raekwon McMillan, who has been here for like 5 years and he's played like 4 games. So I'm not defending it and saying that they're all set, but I think that the off the ball, middle of the field kind of linebackers, they like what they have. They want big physical guys, and that's what they have. I would look more to the edge. We've talked about Judon, where he's going to be
cornerback depth,
secondary,
sure, free safety, pure free safety. That could, and I think that that's a role that, they still could maybe find later in the draft a little bit where, it's like the Duron Harmon. What was he, a 4th round pick out of Rutgers, something like that? It's just, he doesn't have to play every down, and he doesn't really need to be this, elite tackler or anything. You need a guy who can run and has some range, in the middle of the field.
Yeah, I think that linebacker,
Thanks, Darryl.
out of any position on their roster, I would say that linebacker is the one that they have the most depth and are the most sure about. With Bentley and Tavai, And then you also have to factor in how much they play Peppers and Kyle Duggar at the second level of the defense also. So those guys are almost like extra linebackers too. So they got plenty of guys on defense that can play in the middle of the field. It's maybe the deep part of the field that's a more concern.
I mean, one more thing I would add too is that I think, for all the kind of talk that I've done about the concern on the edge, is that I think that they very much value guys like Tavai, like McMillan, and I think like Taki's going to be that can shift out to the edge a little bit, early downs, that kind of stuff. So as thin as the depth chart looks to me right now as I stare at it with Judon, Uche, and Jennings as really kind of the only 3 pure outside linebackers that you might have, I think those other guys, there's enough crossover that they probably view it as a little bit more deep than we might.
And don't forget my back of the envelope guys that they could take later.
Who could that be?
So you got Eric Watts out of UConn.
Oh, I talked to him at
and then Steel Chambers. Don't forget Steel Chambers.
The league is going to forget about Steel Chambers.
Okay, and Michael Barrett out of Michigan.
Barrett, I don't know that one.
Yeah,
I don't
fast
know.
linebackers.
Fast line. See that, and I feel like we've gotten off that a little bit. We were doing some look backs at players that we wanted. Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
In the last couple years, I think before we've all kind of swallowed the medicine of just like they don't want that. They want big physical linebackers.
Mike McDaniel just cracked.
I actually, this is one thing though.
He's always just goofy.
The big physical linebacker thing, I've kind of come around to what their philosophy is, which is we could draft a 225-pound linebacker, or we could draft a 215-pound safety that plays like a 225-pound linebacker but covers better than that linebacker. Like, would you rather have Kyle Duggar or one of those like Nakobe Dean type of linebackers? And they just feel like Kyle Duggar is a more versatile, more valuable piece. Now,
does it have to be Nakobe Dean, or can it be like,
right?
Levante
Davis?
We just were mentioning other big board guys, and I'm sure we both had.
Now,
Nakobe
Dean is one of those small, athletic, undersized linebackers
he's
who
really
was hurt a lot,
yeah,
and has been hurt a lot,
yeah,
and done nothing as
he's
a
like
pro.
What is he, like 5'10"? I mean,
but
he's tiny.
There's a lot of those athletic linebackers that have been great in the pros.
100%. I can see where they're coming from with. Okay, on third down, we could have this great coverage linebacker, or you could just play dime and get 6 DBs on the field, and it really isn't going to make a difference.
And plus, like, it's a value thing because I think, Paul, a lot of the guys like that you named are first-round picks, and like those guys that are big and can run, like it's just there's a lot more strong safety types like the Marde Mapus of the world.
Yeah,
they're always those guys.
Duggar was a second-round pick.
It just seems like
he was a pretty high pick.
Those value picks that they kind of like, this position's a little bit devalued.
Patrick Paul.
At some point, some of these
wanted.
These next tier tackles like Patrick Paul, Kingsley Sumatia, Blake Fisher, like these guys are going to start to go at some point here. There's been a little lull.
Are we on the? We are on the ticker. That always gives me light at the end of the tunnel here. So it's I don't know, probably about 10, 15
Oh yeah,
picks.
I can't. Yeah.
Oh, I was going to say the ticker.
Oh,
Where are we on the ticker?
The ticker on the bottom. This is how I was.
Yeah, you're on the
back when you were a
okay.
draft fan,
Yeah.
and I was actually laughing with the guys upstairs because watching the old draft. I mean, I literally remember sitting in front of and this is like early days of the internet and stuff. No Wi-Fi yet. Everything was hard. And I have my computer back in the office, and I'm watching the draft on a Saturday, enjoying my jambalaya that I've been cooking. And I'm like, wouldn't it be great if I could sit in front of my TV with like my laptop with like it connected to the internet, and I could be on the internet while I was watching the draft? Like I remember having that thought, and it just shows how
you were a visionary.
Became. I know.
You're an illuminary.
I don't even have to plug it in. I'm like thinking about it. Can I get a super long cable and like plug it into the office and run it down the hall? And,
Colleen's in Houston. Hey, Colleen.
Hey guys, I hear that Patrick Paul was just taken because I was about to say, wouldn't I wanted either Kingsley or Patrick Paul next, but Kingsley's still there.
Kingsley is
right?
still available,
So,
absolutely.
There's 2 Kingsleys this year too, which is kind of weird.
Don't you want to trade up for him, or I don't know, because I feel like he and Patrick Paul were in their own tier, which is above the rest, like the
That's
Yale
fair.
guys, like Fisher and stuff. Like I want Kingsley. But
I think that if they come out of this, and it's a great point, Colleen. If they come out of this first 2 days with Drake Maye, Jalen Polk, and Kingsley Sumatia, that's a good draft. Like that's a good start.
I take it
to the top of the draft. I mean, maybe I would have had the order on day 2 flip-flopped, but the receivers were where the run was happening. You have Keon Coleman, Ladd McConkey, Xavier Legette at the end of the first round, Ricky Pearsall. Was it 4 receivers in a row, right? If you bridged 2 days together.
Yeah, it was Worthy, then Pearsall, and then Leggett, right?
Yeah, and then today it
Toward
was
the end.
Keon Coleman and Ladd McConkey with the first 2 picks. So they had to take their guy at receiver, and I think at all the mock drafts that I saw, Drake Maye, Kingsley Sumatia, Jalen Polk, like there's got to be like 25% of mock drafts that probably had that top 3. I think people should be happy with that haul if that's what it ends up being.
Sure.
Let's go to Mike in Puerto Rico. What's up, Mike? Mike. Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hey.
Yes. You were
How's
muted.
everybody doing?
Good.
Wicked good.
Sorry if you're here. I'm outside doing laps. So
doing laps.
Doing my
I was
laps.
just-
That's a flex.
It is.
A little bit.
What kind? Are you swimming or
Same. I'm
running
also
laps?
doing laps.
No, just walking. Honestly, getting some of this energy
go.
out. I was just telling Morel that I reached my 25th year anniversary serving in the Army this week.
Oh, wow. Congratulations, and
Thank
thank
you.
you for your service. And happy
Thank
pension.
you for your support.
Yeah.
And as I was telling him, I also got orders, and I am effectively going to be promoted to Master Sergeant E8 effective June 1st.
Wow, that's great.
Congratulations.
That's
Yeah,
a badass
excellent.
title.
Mazel tov.
Yeah, and I got to say, guys, the coverage this year has been absolutely phenomenal. Tomorrow's my birthday. I honestly couldn't have wished for anything better than Drake Maye, a receiver who I'm not that familiar with, but you guys seem to be very high on him. And just the freedom that you guys seem to have this year, the way that you're structuring the coverage, I mean, it is literally the light at the beginning of the tunnel.
Yeah, there we go. I like that.
Hey.
Hopefully.
All right. Well, thanks, Mike, and congratulations
Thanks,
again.
Mike. Congratulations.
And
Happy birthday.
birthday, Mr. President. Yeah, take another lap from me.
Happy birthday, Master Sergeant.
That was upsetting. I was a little disappointed with Patrick Paul only because my buddy Mike Reese had sort of targeted him as a possible tackle in the 3rd round, and I kind of thought that might be.
Yeah, I
you know,
when I saw him at the Senior Bowl, it's like Trent Brown type size.
Yeah.
Like
Plus he got that mask too. He looks
6'8",
like Darth Vader out there.
340, 36-inch arms.
But I'm glad
Huge.
Mike is hearing the optimism on Polk because I think there's still a lot of people that aren't really hearing it. And I mean, you guys certainly have done way more. I just felt like someone described it to me as a guy that was going to be underwhelming. People are going to be, it's not one of the higher regarded receivers, and people are going to be underwhelmed, but he's a really good player.
Yeah.
So, like, that's how someone described it to me. And, you know, I listened to Mike and Evan talk about him. I'm like, I think he has a chance, like I said, to be their best receiver right now. I mean, and you could scoff and say, well, that's a low bar, but
yeah,
I think you have potential to have improvement there.
No, and you know, Schrager said it about his mock draft, and the league I think really values some of the traits that Polk brings to the table, maybe a little bit more than people on the outside, myself included at times, where all I'm clamoring for is speed and separation. Like, just show me the guy that can create 10 yards of separation on a route, and that's what I'm all about. But the toughness, the dependability, the hands, like, I think those things are things that the league looks at as more carrying traits for receivers than, you know, athleticism and speed and things like that.
Yeah, I look just at my notes. January 14th was my initial notes on him was just tough all-around receiver, good after catch, downfield, has wiggle and suddenness. So there you go.
All right. Well,
I like
listen.
suddenness. It's a good word.
Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the New England Patriots. And, you know, while you're out there drinking your Bud Light with the sun out and the fun out, get ready for warmer weather with the latest in-stock and ready-to-ship outdoor styles from Bob's Discount Furniture. Shop everything from weather-resistant wicker seating and barbecue-ready bar and dining sets to on-trend indoor-outdoor rugs, umbrellas, and decor. Stop in and shop now to embrace springtime at Bob's Discount Furniture, the official furniture store of the New England Patriots. Time for a break. When we come back, we'll catch you up with everything that happened.
By the time this Patriots fan is finished drinking his Pepsi, you'll be 15 seconds closer to game time. Patriots watching. better with Pepsi.
Without good blocking, your team's not going anywhere. Cisco blocks cyber attacks for customers around the world, including the entire Fortune 100 and the NFL. Because when the game is on the line, and it's always on the line, the NFL relies on Cisco.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
oh no!
Replacements were shipped with FedEx, and with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
Isn't it time to get exactly what you want? Welcome to Red Hot Deal Days from Verizon, where you get your pick of our best deals. Like My Plan, where you can pick the perks you want and save on every one. For limited time, bring your own phones to a Verizon store and you can get My Plan for our best price ever. Get exactly what you want in your phone plan and only pay for what you need. Bring your phones to your Verizon store today and get My Plan. These deals won't last. It's your Verizon.
When someone accidentally threw away the school play costumes,
Oh no.
replacements were shipped with FedEx. And with picture proof of delivery, everyone could focus on the perfect opening night. FedEx, where now meets next. For residential delivery only.
This is Patriots Unfiltered.
Presented by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com.
All right, back here on the Patriots Unfiltered Draft Show, presented by buyatoyota.com.
Yeah.
So, lots of things going on. The Patriots are about 10 picks away. Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan went to the Cowboys. Chris Braswell from Alabama, another edge guy, went to the Buccaneers.
I like Braswell.
Green Bay is on the clock, the 26th pick in the second round.
This is always interesting with Green Bay because I feel like their board is probably identical to the Patriots board. So whoever they pick here, I think would be a guy that could be a 68 target if the Patriots.
Can I bring up something real quick back to Drake Maye, just real
Green Bay's the
real
new
quick?
Baltimore.
Is it did it strike you as a little weird that he's kind of like I've never been out of North Carolina? Like I thought that was a little bit like.
So I wanted to ask him
Neither
about
had
that.
Cole Strange.
Well, he has to play football.
Yeah, I think he's talking about spending any time.
Yeah.
Living anywhere else. Yeah.
I mean,
Never
neither
lived
had Cole Strange. He had never been anywhere up here in the north, period.
Outside of Tennessee.
But I mean, being north is one thing, but like not being anywhere. Like I don't know.
Because I said this last night. I'm pretty sure that he played BC at BC.
He did.
Yeah.
You
Oh
do.
no.
You have
Oh
to
yeah.
play
Yeah. No. I mean,
at
I'm
every
sure
school.
he's been out of the state, but like he's never lived anywhere
No, but like
else.
to Tamara's point, I'm not sure that Cole Strange had.
Cole Strange
been
never
in,
had
Northeast at all.
No.
Nothing. That's just strange. I mean,
Javon Bullard.
Look it up for you. Oh yeah, good.
No.
Mean.
But speaking of
mean
Drake
dude.
May, can we see the interview? Because I didn't get to see the
we
interview
should
with you
play
guys.
our interview.
Yeah, why don't we do that? Matt's on the phone.
Okay, Matt's on the
Beep,
phone.
beep, beep, beep,
I didn't get
beep.
to see the interview and see what you guys asked.
We're gonna be up here before
Matt,
we know
do we
it.
have?
No. Okay.
I don't think we need to do that.
What?
We're gonna be picking.
What do we have, like,
and
what?
then we're gonna go off.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
Oh,
We have like 10 picks.
Yeah.
It's at least a half an hour.
I thought we had some good questions, though. I mean, I think it's. I mean, we purposely like Fred to
Wait,
what you said was. No, I'm not going to say, but I'm going to say. You know, we had heard all the interviews. We hadn't heard yours, but you know, we tried to make an effort to not ask him. You know what he got asked at the press conference last night, and then this morning at the press conference, and then the call, and you know. So Evan asked him some football questions. Paul asked him, you know, a little bit. I thought in depth more the family questions of his dad playing quarterback and. Again, just a special relationship clearly between him and his bros.
Yep.
I also just wanted to know, like, how they decided who was going to come here. Because you would think, like, oh, your parents wouldn't want to come. But no, it's all of his siblings. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
I know, and his brother came from Japan.
Yeah, usually it's like mom and dad, you know?
Yeah.
But this time it was
You think maybe they're
siblings.
here, they just didn't come to the stadium, or I don't know. Because they all came on the plane with him, right?
Yeah.
Did they all come on? Yeah. They didn't meet him here.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love long plane travel, but like the thought of flying from Japan to, I mean, I guess Detroit, maybe he went to North Carolina first, but Japan to Detroit to Boston, you know, for your brother, like I know what a pain in the ass that is. And, you know, I think it really speaks to how close they are. What was the line he had? He's like, these are my people, and if you're getting me, you're getting them too. So, you know, I really like that.
Just for the record, Drake Maye never played at Boston College.
He didn't?
No.
I don't know what I'm misremembering.
No, never played BC, period.
How?
Never played.
Oh, he must have.
Oh, you know what?
He must have got there after the restructuring. Because they did restructure.
It was Sam Howell.
Yeah.
That I'm thinking of.
Who is his best friend, by the way?
Watching North Carolina play at BC, it was Sam Howell.
Yeah, no, he never played
I screwed
BC.
that up. See, there's another thing. I just said
actually,
you could put wallpaper up of stupid things that I said.
Wait,
That's another
no,
one.
Actually, this tracks because when I was talking to him today before our interview started, we were talking about Virginia Tech, of course. He was like, Virginia Tech is the loudest place that I've ever been in. He's like, but I didn't get to play there. I only got to watch Sam Howell do it, and I was on the sidelines. So guess those are two schools that he didn't get to play at.
Yeah, him and Sam Howell have a pretty tight relationship, and Sam Howell was kind of one of his mentors,
How
one of
far
his leaders.
apart? I mean,
no, they overlapped
really?
at North Carolina.
Jeez. I feel like Sam Howell. I guess Sam Howell's.
Yeah, So Sam Howell went to the NFL, and then Drake Maye took over the next year as the quarterback at North Carolina. So he was there for at least a full year.
Like
with
2
Sam
years.
Howell.
Yeah. So he's like a sophomore or something when he graduated.
Yeah.
The Texans took the tackle, Blake Fisher out of Notre Dame.
That's another one.
So Sua Mattia, it's interesting because
he's kind of.
Daniel Jeremiah came out with his final top 150 right before the draft.
Like, leprosy?
I don't know, but he had Sua Mattia much lower than the consensus. It had him as like the 120th player in the draft, and everybody was like, "Whoa!" Like this is it was one of those that stood out.
Jeremiah,
Daniel Jeremiah did.
'Cause the Beast has him 40.
Yeah, and here we go. He's at pick 60, and tackles Patrick Paul, Blake Fisher. I would say both those guys. The consensus had Kingsley ahead of both of those guys on the consensus board. So obviously the league looks at Kingsley Sua-Mattia a little bit different than we do.
Yeah, I mean, the way I looked at him at the combine, he's a big, scary dude. Like, he was just one of those guys, like, the offensive linemen, when they come out, they're like, I would like that guy blocking for me. He looks very mean.
Please and thanks.
Thank you.
Another comp, Phil Perry just tweeted out from a league source for Jalen Polk, Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
And I think that's another one. I mean, it's another really good, and I'm going to say number 2 again, not hoping that people think that that's a negative. Like, he's a really good receiver for a long time.
Yeah.
Tyler Boyd. A really good career. I'd take that and run.
No, it's I mean, look, anytime they draft a receiver or quarterback high, like, that gets me excited just to get out to OTAs and just, I mean, I know you can't really take anything from it, but you can superficially, and you can get a look at these guys, and those are the easiest positions to watch. They're the most fun to watch. Certainly in OTAs and that stuff where they're not really doing anything too serious. You can't really do anything on defense or along the lines. But, right already, you got 2 guys in the next few weeks, over the next month, that we'll get a chance to check out and see between him and Drake Maye just to start.
So I would just say that I feel like the contested catch thing is throwing people off with Jalen Polk. He's not a jump ball receiver.
He's not that guy, right?
He's a receiver that runs through the middle of the field a lot, so he's in traffic a lot, and he catches the ball. He's got really strong hands. That doesn't mean he's a jump ball like N'Keal Harry, Devontae Parker type of receiver. He just has really good hands. Like that. Those are 2 different things.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different.
You think of Cole Bishop,
safety, right, from Utah.
Yeah.
His idol is Rodney Harrison. Models his game after Rodney Harrison grew up a big-time Patriots fan.
So Paul likes him.
She's not much of a future for him because he'd be out of the league.
Right.
Buffalo just took him. So it's probably going to be Cole Bishop and Taylor Rapp instead of
those are similar players.
That tandem that you knew for years with Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, who are both gone. So there's the passing of the torch in Buffalo.
Rogers in Connecticut. What's up, Roger? Kentucky.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
Kentucky.
says Kentucky right on the screen.
I don't know why I said
Connecticut.
Because we're just too tired.
Not yet.
Sorry, Roger.
That's all right. That's all right. I understand how it is. How's everybody doing?
Okay.
Pretty good.
Hey, I just wanted to say that I am super stoked for the draft and the quarterback and the receiver that we've taken, but I got finessed into buying a Mac Jones shirt before his first game, so I'm going to hold off on buying any Drake Maye merchandise.
Oh,
well, it's the same
change the
number.
nameplate.
I was going to say, I saw a lot of people at the draft party who used some duct tape and put the tape over Jones and just put May.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
get the
same
right number. He's
You're
going
ready
to be
go.
10, so maybe you can unstitch if there's a talented seamstress in your family. Maybe you can unstitch that nameplate and put a new one on.
Yeah, why not?
Well, it's a hoodie, not a jersey.
Oh,
well, never mind.
Mac Jones hoodie. Oh, okay. You really got
Yeah.
suckered. Yeah.
But I just wanted to say I appreciate y'all in the coverage and that y'all have given over the draft and are going to continue doing. I appreciate it. I listen to y'all while I'm at work, and I'm super stoked for this year. Let's go.
We appreciate you. Thank you, Roger. Appreciate the call.
It's
refreshing.
I was texting with my dad last night after they took Drake Maye, and he was like, "Is this kid better than Mac?" Right, like that. The first thing out of his mouth, and I was like, I don't know how good he's going to be yet. I don't want to put any expectations on Drake Maye, but I think he's going to be a lot more exciting than Mac Jones for fans like my dad, who wants them to win. Don't get me wrong, but he also just wants to be entertained from 1 to 4 on Sundays. And I think Drake Maye's gonna have the highlight plays that Mac Jones never had.
I'll have a take on that, but let's first go to the interview that we did here in the studio with Drake Maye.
Yeah, it's pretty good special.
It's pretty cool.
I got a good setup in here.
We'll try to keep.
We're going to redesign it a little bit. It's
Yeah,
going to be nicer pretty soon.
Yeah. We'll try to keep this quick because I know you're like. been
Oh, don't
doing
worry about it.
everything.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's crazy, but you can. It's a safe place. So just to start it off, like, I want to try to ask questions that you haven't already been asked.
Yeah, okay.
Because you've probably answered the same questions over and over again. But
appreciate that. Y'all understand what it's like. Yeah,
I
appreciate
guess
that.
that you're excited.
Yeah. I'm excited to be here. Yeah.
We'll welcome you to New England.
Paul's in the
Appreciate
BU
it.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
Such a jerk.
We've never had a rookie come in and actually see his locker.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've done that type of content. I saw that picture, and you're looking at, like, what were you thinking about when you saw your locker in the Patriots locker?
Yeah, it's special. I think it's almost surreal. You always dream about, opening up your locker and being in the same locker room as some of the greats here, like Tom and Gronk and those guys you grew up, watching playing, and even Coach Mayo, a guy that's done it. It's pretty cool, sitting there and experiencing that, and seeing my locker in there. And seeing a jersey in it.
Did you picture, like, okay, my cleats are going to be here, my my family picture's going to be here? Did
Exactly.
you, like, visualize how you're going to?
Yeah, I'm a little OCD, so I got a little organization in me for my locker, keep things nice and in the same spot. And if anybody touches something, I'll be mad. But other than that, I think it's awesome. I think such a big locker too is pretty sweet.
And that's like kind of your home. Now.
Exactly. Yeah. New home, new city. Everything new. So kind of never been out of the state of North Carolina.
Yeah.
So it's your first time in New England, Boston?
I came for a visit, but other than that, first time in Boston, first time in New England.
Well, listen, if you have any questions for us, especially where to eat,
let us know.
Where to eat.
People.
I got 3 bros out there who we love eating. So let us know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you a little bit about the brothers because that's obviously such an athletic family, and your dad. Just what kind of impact was that, having those guys, to look up to, and all the success that they had? I would imagine it made for a lot of competitive.
100%.
days.
Yeah, nowadays we try not to to do as physical sports. Play more like golf and pickleball, something that we don't rough up on each other. But definitely my dad playing quarterback in college. He had a short stint in Tampa Bay, as a quarterback on the practice squad. But other than that, he spent 1 year there and played in arena football. But just having a dad that played the quarterback, played the position, knows what it's like, knows how to be in my shoes is an awesome experience. Just to lean on him.
Go ahead.
Do you like the fact that? I saw the video that they put together for you with your brothers.
Yeah,
you were all ready to get the feels and everything, and then they button hooked you.
Yeah, I was getting emotional in there.
But do you think that helps you at all, like having sort of that tough love? And obviously they're in your corner, and you know that you have their support. But to know that when I screw up, they're going to be there to let me know.
Oh, it's huge. People that understand it, understand the pressure that comes with it. but also understand, hey, I've seen you make that there before. You got to make that, and be hard on me. My dad, every game's yelling to watch the play clock from the stands. It's not even, I can't hear him obviously, but you almost hear it in the voices. He's done a great job of letting me go once I got into college, and he coached me all the way up through there, and has seen me throw my whole life. So he just kind of knows the best, and when I'm throwing to the best and feeling the best. So having my brothers there is awesome experience.
The question I had about your dad is, what's the best advice he ever gave you?
That's great. I think my dad every game is move on to the next play. Move on to the next play in life.
Short memory.
Yeah, short memory. That's all he always says.
Good play, bad play, next
good play, bad play in football and outside of football. Make a decision that you wish you had back. In life. Eating a cheesecake or something eating that shouldn't have had. So dessert, little things like that. My dad has been great at having short-term memory. It's huge in this position. And I think the best thing is just control things you control. He said that from day one. Control things you control. When I was in a quarterback, battle at North Carolina 2 years ago, and now sitting here, control, and that's my work ethic. Just loving football and coming in here and ready to win.
Did your brothers play quarterback at all, or were you the only one?
Yeah, I happened to. Luke played until high school. Right before we got to high school, through 8th grade. Luke threw it good. I'm older for Luke, the basketball player. He throws it good now. But I chose the right sport. They chose. We all have our own ways, went our different ways, and I happened to be the last one that ended up playing quarterback.
Yeah. Couple football questions for you now.
Okay.
So I want to take you back to the Clemson game for a second, because the first throw that I saw you make was a 33-yarder to J.J. Jones against Clemson.
Oh man, that's a good one to start with.
I was sitting there watching, and I turned on the TV. Unfortunately, the Patriots I knew was probably going to be picked pretty high in the draft. So turn on the TV and say, let's see what the fuss is about with Drake Maye. And you made that pass, rolling to your right, off your back foot, 35 yards in the air, and I was like, okay, there we go. So take me through that play though. What did you see the pressure pre-snap, or is that something you
kind of felt? You always you're looking for field blitz. I think Clemson brought that a lot. Looking for field blitz, and we had the protection there. We had it slid there, and the tight end should have actually took the widest guy. I think he tried to chip him, and I think he ended up missing him a little bit. But hey, all that matters is effort. He's giving effort. But yeah, we had a little post climb concept. We called it Viper. Is what we called it, and just having a chance to see JJ breaking free and just trying to buy time. Some guys off the edges coming free. Just having the ability to buy time and then throw off platform is something that I feel like is in my skill set, and just happy I put it in the right spot.
Yeah, the other question I had for you in terms of this offense with Coach Van Pelt, one of the reasons why we were all jazzed up about this is because of the scheme fit between you and what they're going to do. I know you said he showed you some Aaron Rodgers clips and things like that. But some of the bootlegs and things that get you outside the pocket that they're going to run here, how excited are you to be in this offense?
Yeah, I'm really excited. Coach Van Pelt, you've seen what he's done. He's played the position is awesome too. A guy that understands it, understands what's playing the position is like. And, just being in that room, which Jacoby learned from him. The outside zone scheme, like I said, bootlegs off it, play action, throwing the ball. I think Coach Van Pelt likes to throw it around, and that's what I'm about. So just winning games and doing what I can to help contribute in that room for this team.
And from this point on, what's next for you in terms of football training? I know Clyde Christensen, you've worked with him in the past, correct? And just what do you do now? I know Coach Van Pelt and McAdoo and all those guys are going to work with you too. But do you have private coaches? Do you go out and back to North Carolina? What's next?
I think probably just go back to Chapel with Coach Christensen. He's been awesome working with him. I think I'll definitely get in the playbook. Learn some of the passing concepts. Learn the starts with protection, formations. Learn the simple stuff first and get into it. And just back to the basics. Starting back from foundation of starting here and just forget it. All the other verbiage and terminology I knew. And just worry about the Patriots one.
It's like learning a new language.
Exactly right.
I want to let you get back to, because you still got a few other things you got to do. I want to let you finish up your day, so we'll wrap up here. But tonight, when you go to bed and your head hits the pillow, what do you think is the last thing you're going to be thinking about tonight before you go to sleep?
Besides this interview.
Exactly, right? Yeah. Other than, just being blessed in a position, let's get to work. Strike it starts now. That's probably what I'll think. Worry about all the other attention, media, all the other kind of spotlight that I got, and let's get to work and get to what it's really about.
All right, Drake Maye, #1 draft pick for the New England Patriots. Thanks for stopping by.
Appreciate it. Thanks, guys. This is awesome.
Welcome. Thanks, Drake.
All right, that was Drake Maye. If Pete Carroll was from the South, that's what he'd sound like. He'd sound like Drake Maye.
Yeah, I can see that.
Honestly, when Brian Kelly went down to LSU, he should have went for more of that version of an accent.
Ah, okay.
Versus just going complete Southern twang.
He just should have stuck with Everett. I mean, come on, Everett clearly has some clout in the league now, right? With all these guys that are landing in the NFL.
While we were listening to that, Kansas City took one of
took my guy.
Yeah.
Depressed.
Somatia? Am I saying that right?
Suomatia.
Somatia.
Patrick Mahomes. I love Veach, man.
Is that what he tweeted?
Sure he does. This guy, Kingsley Suomatia, is an athlete.
But he gets him a wide
tackle.
receiver and a tackle in the first two picks.
This guy is absolutely explosive.
Oh, he just did the jump out of the pool thing. Which
out in space.
absolutely blows me away.
Climbs, reaches.
There's no way. First of all,
Freak.
when I get in the pool,
what is his size?
Can we just talk about pools for a quick second?
You're not jumping out, right?
No.
Okay.
I can barely stand up in the pool where it's like 4 foot 9 inches or 5 foot 2. That's not accurate because I'm 5'2" and I could barely stand up.
My God, you're 5'2"?
Yes.
I never even thought to put
Pools
a number to
lie.
it, but that's
Pools lie.
Pools lie which way?
Pool numbers lie.
They're deeper than they say?
Do rivers have tides?
Like it'll be like 5'2", and I get
Pools
in and
lie.
I'm on my tiptoes.
Okay.
That's a good
So
one.
there's no way I'd be able to do what he just did.
Well, if you were a super athlete, Tamara.
Most people can't do what he just did. I mean, that's.
I don't think I
that's
could
incredible.
jump out of a 1 foot deep pool.
But I can swim, so that's what matters.
Didn't we have the box jump challenge in the studio once?
Oh,
Paul?
boy.
Yeah.
Now that I can do.
Boy, see,
I can do that.
Andy did it.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That's pretty impressive because he's shorter, you know.
He's a pretty good athlete, Andy. Yeah.
Not that good.
His son looks like a good athlete.
So his son's a better athlete than he was.
Yeah.
And he'll be the first to admit it.
Is he better at lacrosse or
and
football?
tweet about it.
No, I know. I
I
feel like
make
I'm
fun of him all the time. I'm like,
vicariously
bro.
following his son's career.
In my family, every generation just gets better and better athletically. Like, you know, my dad and my uncles were here, then I was like a little above it. Now my cousins are like all the way up here. You know, like it just seems like it. That's what they're hoping with Drake Maye, right? You get the younger you get, the better.
I just can't even listen to Evan because Evan has said that he can make an NBA 3. Like he is confident that he can.
I don't
make an NBA
understand
3.
why people think
believe
that's
that.
hard.
I've made many NBA
Yeah.
threes.
Easily.
Actually, at the Celtics facility
Yeah.
with NBA Kenny.
I did it on the parquet.
Who invited me and Will to practice. Yeah.
I need to see this footage.
I used to be a good shooter.
Picture didn't happen.
Me too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, you were on the.
It's
the
not
garden,
that hard
right?
to
yeah,
shoot.
Yeah.
Now it's a little different when there's a guy in your face.
Yeah. Who's
You know,
6'4".
there's 19,000 people in the stands, but like
the
just
basket
standing
does
around
seem
shooting.
very far away.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
when you're
am-
shooting, you're like, man.
It's
man.
a little bit.
hockey
It's a little bit of a
player, so
push.
that's-
An
yeah.
NBA 3 is a little bit of a push.
Yeah.
As opposed to the college 3 you can take.
Well, that's
normal.
like Caitlin Clark. I mean, were some of those threes that she put up? Those
Oh,
are those like
30
NBA
feet.
threes?
Yeah.
Logo
Those were
threes.
way
Logo.
past NBA
Oh, Paul.
range. No, she's hitting threes from like 26, 30.
She's
26 to
tremendous.
30
She's
feet.
absolutely tremendous.
Like that. Those threes are even further than the NBA line is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just putting them up.
Effortless.
I would like to shoot with that ball though.
Yeah. Oh, the smaller ball. Yeah.
But she is tremendous. No one else, everybody else gets to use that ball
Yeah.
in women's basketball. They don't make them like.
Did I ever tell you, Tamara, the time that I beat Andy Hart in 3 sports
No.
in one day?
No.
Yeah.
How furious was he?
This sounds like what was this like?
He was
Patriots.
demoralized.
Was this? Wait, was this Patriots content Olympics? Like what's
It was
happening
in
here?
San Diego.
Was it even for content? You guys just did it.
No, we
for
just
fun.
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Whose idea was this?
No one even recorded
we
it.
started with tennis.
Boys are dumb, Tamara. And they like competition and
And
sports.
then-
Boys do.
And then I beat him in one-on-one basketball. And then I beat him in horse.
Did you really beat him in
Interesting.
one-on-one basketball?
yeah.
Oh, legit, Paul.
I thought you beat him in horse.
No, I would. I can hit from the outside, so I was hitting outside shots, and when I hit
From the outside.
and then when I missed,
He's
I would,
Ray
I
Allen
would
all of a
follow.
sudden.
I would follow my shot, and I'd get the rebound, and then when I was in close, I'd just pump. I'd wait for it until I saw his ankles at my eyes, and then I'd go up, and it was an
'Cause he's
easy layup.
aggressive.
And
Yeah.
So what year was this?
Oh, this is like early 2000s.
I really want to picture you with a headband too, doing that.
Ah.
Like, I just think that
Like
that
the
would
Zach
really,
Wilson headband?
yeah,
Oh my
yeah,
God.
that would really just capture Fred. I feel like and Andy would be bothered by it. You know, Fred was like, you know, doing kind of like the tux bit and not taking it serious, but yet still wins, and that just makes Andy even madder.
No, Fred had
the
strategy.
fuck?
Yeah, you gotta have psychological
Fred had
warfare,
strategy.
right?
First of all, Fred was like vastly superior to him in tennis. Like it was.
Oh, yeah,
It was if Fred was in anywhere close to the same shape physically that Andy was, he would have beat him 6-0, 6-0 in about 20 minutes.
Yeah.
But what Fred would do was he, you know, like when you play tennis, you have like 2 or 3 balls, right? 3 balls, right? And he would hit it, you know, hit it out. You know, Andy would hit one out, and there'd be one right by the net. Fred would walk to the fence in the back, because that allowed him to get his
Go
breath.
for the furthest ball.
The ball furthest away. He'd walk, take his time, come back. By the time he got back, he'd blister a serve.
Well, the first time I played him was here, and everybody watched. And, I beat him, but it was a little closer. When I played in San Diego, it was like 6-0, 6-1. But at the first time I played him, after, okay, good match, I went to my office and laid on the floor. Closed my door
You didn't
and
let
laid
him
on
see
the
it.
floor.
Yeah. I feel fine. What?
He had like his knee, the knees up, and you're like back.
The ice bags taped to both knees, both shoulders.
Still got it.
I know.
Still got it.
I don't think I remember the one-on-one basketball
in San Diego. Oh, legit win.
I might have been knee deep in Diet Millers at that time.
It might not have even been close.
Really?
Well, the tennis was not close.
No, but the one-on-one, like I could hit from the outside and I'd follow my shot and I'd get my own rebound, and he just didn't have the strength. Like, he's an athlete, but he's not a good.
I feel like
he's
I'm
not
a good
really
athlete,
good
but
basketball
I
player.
can't play
played hoop with him.
basketball. I can't play basketball. It's the one sport I feel like I can't
You're a
play.
hockey player.
Yeah,
Hockey players
Sorry,
can do
do you
two
have
things.
your winter
hockey
sport?
and
I got
golf.
no sense of like the spacing
See,
of it.
that was all I
and-
had.
yeah.
Was I could shoot, and I had a sense of basketball sense because I watched so much basketball growing up.
You know where to go.
I knew where to
get
go.
your shots.
I knew where the soft spots were when teams played zone. Like, I just knew the game really well.
By the way, I realized I'm kind of disappointed Fred didn't jump on Drake Maye for bringing up pickleball. Like, I thought Fred was
That's
pickleball.
true. That's true.
Yeah. No, we're gonna ask you questions we haven't asked you before, and I'm gonna go in on you on pickleball.
I don't know, Drake. At least Mac played tennis.
Wow.
How did that work out?
Yikes.
He just feels shame and walks out.
All right, we're done with the
Sorry.
second round, by the way.
Here we go. We're just 4 picks away here from
We're into the third round.
maybe wrapping up the night.
The Jets are on the board.
I would just say real quick with, the Chiefs clearly traded up, and I think they probably had the same feeling we did, which was like, we're at the end of the line here with the really, promising tackles I think that we had our crosshairs on. So, they clearly understood that, and I think it was probably, clearly a pipe dream for us to think that he was going to last, these next
Kingsley
few picks.
Sumatia,
Yeah.
So the couple guys that tackle, Javon Foster and Christian Jones are still out there. I think are guys that could develop. The one that is interesting though is Kieran
Oh yeah.
Amagadje.
Perfect.
It's
Nailed
like,
it.
From Yale, who is a man amongst boys at that level, as you should be if you're going to be an NFL prospect. But he's a raw, developmental tackle that has really high upside. Like, at this point in the draft, that I'm kind of thinking that's what you should be looking at. Is my point here to this whole thing is take a chance on somebody with the tools. And yeah, the big thing for him is that Yale ran like a triple option offense and never threw the ball. So he doesn't have a lot of true pass sets
Shaq Mason
on his film. So he's going to have to learn how to pass set at a high volume, and really drop back pass at a high volume.
Yeah.
But when you watch him run block, he moves people in the run game, and he's a behemoth.
I did
he's a
read
big guy.
his name on a lot of people. When people like to throw sleepers out there, he was included on a lot of different sleeper lists.
I think I got to give Chris Cassidy a shout out. I think he was one of the guys that Chris looked at when we did Draft Countdown. So shout out Chris Cassidy.
Yeah, I would say him and Brandon Coleman, the German guy, Fred.
That's Freddie's guy. Back of the
he's
envelope.
also somebody that I think you can start talking about at tackle as well. Sidon Wallace from Penn State is another one. I don't know if he's a right tackle that might be a guard. He's one of those type of tweener guys. But if it was me, Kieran from Yale, I'm not going to try to say his last name again. He has all of the traits and all of the physical tools you look for a left tackle. He just is going to need some developing. And if they really feel good about Chukwuekorfor and think they have a year to get by at left tackle, then maybe he can be somebody that's on their radar
I'm gonna
here.
go Amagaji.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you're close. Yeah, that sounds
yes,
right.
perfect. You sound like it sounded effortless. It rolled off your tongue like you were.
Hushmanzata.
I also wonder, really quickly, we're talking about weaponizing the offense. Jatavian Sanders from Texas is still there.
Oh,
and
I thought you were gonna say the Jets took him.
No, the comp that I would use for Jatavian Sanders is like a day 2 David Njoku, who just happened to have a really good season with Alex Van Pelt in Cleveland. So one of those move kind of, flex tight ends that's going to catch crossers and seams off of play action and get into the flats and run with the ball after the catch, kind of a Jonnu Smith as well. You could kind of use that comp as well, which in this offense makes a lot more sense than it did in the Josh McDaniels offense.
That's a good one. I don't know why that didn't even dawn on me, but yeah, Jonnu.
This Jets selection is very interesting.
What is it?
Malachi Corley.
Oh, gosh. I hate when... Yeah. That's all right. I liked him. I didn't think that it was totally necessary. But I always get enamored with those guys, and then you find out they can't run.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of like Debo Light, that kind of guy.
Yeah, the big thing with him was that there's just so few... his volume of downfield routes
nothing. It's
is
like all
zero.
behind the line of scrimmage.
I think his average depth of target was 5 yards.
Yeah.
Everything is a scheme touch, a perimeter screen, quick slant.
Get it out of Aaron Rodgers' hands fast.
Yeah, but I didn't love him for the Patriots because I think the Patriots Polk can win down the field. Corley is a scheme touch
but
artist.
a good complement to what they have, right, with Wilson and
he could have been
and what's his face?
Oh, in New York
with the Jets.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's the other receiver they just grabbed? The free agent they signed?
Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, thank you.
Mike.
All right, the Cardinals are on the clock at the second pick in the third round.
But see, who would you call the one? Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson.
Oh, Garrett Wilson.
Mike Williams.
Garrett Wilson's the one.
Garrett Wilson's the one.
Mike Williams is I think a prototypical too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
really
buy low candidate.
Yeah, a big guy on the outside. He's like he's an X on the outside.
Yeah. Well, and that's what I mean, because I think
he's a complimentary guy. Keenan Allen was the one there.
You think that the one is the X, the guy that can get off the line.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily.
not
T. Higgins is the X in Cincinnati, and he's not the one.
Yeah.
I think that it. I think you have a philosophical opposition to
Also,
the.
No, I said it's a me problem.
And
I said it's a me problem. That's how I started.
I'll tell you who
Yeah.
agrees with you.
Yeah.
Bill
Yeah.
Belichick.
Yeah.
That's because
Also,
Bill hates receivers.
Paul, I feel like
he doesn't want numbers. He wants them to not be on the team.
Paul, I feel like T. Higgins, he's a great number 2. And so I'm like, why is everyone hating about Polk being a number 2? Because they're a great number 2s
Because they
out
have
here.
Jamar Chase and we don't.
Well,
Fair.
yeah, and if he turns out to be T. Higgins, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Because I think T. Higgins is a 1 on about 15 other teams.
Yeah.
Travis from West Virginia says Tamara needs to realize that she is 5'2" to the top of her head, but you need to measure to the bottom of the chin for pool.
That's such a great point.
So pool
Right.
purposes, it's up to here.
Pool chin.
That's such a
like
great point.
4'7".
Then I basically need to be
How
when
tall
you
is your
first
head?
walk in the pool.
Have you measured your
That's it.
skull?
That's a really good
The dimensions
shout.
of your skull.
So basically, I need to
my
be in the
skull.
4'10" section of the pool.
It's called the kiddie pool. It's like you just wade in and it only goes up to your
Usually,
ankles.
yeah, usually
you could
it's
probably
like
jump
off
out
to
of it
the
too.
Side.
Literally.
It's not like where the main pool is. It's like
Yes.
off tucked into
Yes,
the corner.
exactly.
That's the one with all the urine in it.
Right.
Ew.
Trey,
Fred, did you ever go to the
Trey Benson just went.
the water slide park there in Wareham, going down the Cape?
I've
Did you ever
never
go there as
been.
a
I've been
kid?
by
That's
it
an
a
old
million
place.
times.
No, you never go.
Yeah, no.
Trey Benson. Yeah, you are seeing a little bit, which I think we expected the third,
right?
fourth round, a little run. Jonathan Brooks already went.
Yeah.
Trey Benson went. We'll start to see the running backs now get into the convo.
Oh.
Yeah. Commanders are on the clock, followed by your New England Patriots, assuming they stay put.
Your New England Patriots.
Yeah.
My Sarge voice going. Sorry, this is where it starts to get punchy here. We approach 10 o'clock on the second night.
Yeah.
Who's that guy?
Cousin Patty seems to have some sort of insider knowledge because he's putting these picks out early.
Oh, really?
Well, yeah, it's been made. So whatever he said is probably.
The Patriots pick is
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Oh.
So who is it? If everybody knows who it is, say it.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't have the Patriots.
Well, if it's not out there on the Twitter
We
sphere,
can't.
we don't want to say
We
it.
can't.
Who is
I
it?
wonder who
Can
Washington's
someone tell me
getting.
so I can be like a grown-up? Thank you.
Did Washington already make their pick?
Yes. They picked a running back, right? Or no?
I missed it. Hold on.
Did I get that
Refreshing
wrong?
Twitter.
No. Arizona
Cardinals
took
took the running back. I don't know who the Commanders took. You're saying that the Patriots took who?
Oh my gosh.
Caden Wallace.
So they took a tackle. Yeah, they took they took Penn State tackle Caden Wallace.
Yeah, so definitely someone that's in this range. Just missed out on the big board, which is going to piss me off.
Yeah, me too.
Just missed out on the big board. But what stands out to me with him is he's a very experienced tackle, made 40 career starts in college, mostly on the right side, but very experienced, technically sound, balanced feet, doesn't really look out of control or out of place at any point in time. Olufashanu was on the other side there at Penn State. He played on the right side, and his explosiveness out of his stance and his ability to mirror pass rushers is really strong. I had him right in this range. I think this is, exactly where I would peg him to go. I had him with Kieran, with Brandon Coleman, which is this next wave of tackles that's going to come here. So this was their guy. I totally understand what they're seeing here with the player. The one question that I would have, he's a tackle. I think, some people are going to say he could move inside to guard, but 6'5", 34-inch arms. I think he can play tackle. I think the biggest thing that I would ask with him is, is he going to transition to the left side?
Right.
There doesn't
another right tackle.
But that scares me, because if you didn't play left tackle in college, are you going to play left tackle in the pros?
Probably not.
Probably
not. And I don't know. I mean, that's.
I think he can. I don't think it's as big of a deal for him to flip sides. Because he does have the pass protection prowess to do it.
Yeah, but
he's a high.
As Bill said, sometimes just being on that other side of the line, everything's different.
I think,
and some people don't adjust to that.
I think it's different for everybody, and I don't know if this guy will be able to do it or not. But sometimes guys play on the other side because of who's there, and he had Fashanu.
The Commanders took Brandon Coleman. Damn it!
You had designs on him.
But I would say that Brandon Coleman and Caden Wallace are similar, exactly, similar type of players.
Wallace doesn't speak German.
I know.
I don't care.
I know, but I'm just saying that this is where all these guys are supposed to go.
Yeah.
So this is not a reach or anything like that with Wallace. I think that the one thing that everybody's going to hold their hat on is, can he transition to the left side? Is that what they want him to do? Is this kicking Mike Onwenu back inside? Like, what's happening, where he plays on the line if he does develop it down the road? Yadni Kajusta was also a third-round pick and never played a snap in the NFL pretty much. So, we're at the point of the draft now where I'm not going to sit here and say, Keenan Wallace is going to be their day one left tackle. This is a developmental player.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Matt Morrell, what's up over there? We're going to wrap up this show? Okay. So the Patriots have picked in the third round. Yes, they could move back up into the third round. They've got 2 picks in the fourth. But that'll be it for tonight's edition of the Patriots Unfiltered Draft Show. We'll be back tomorrow at noon. Do I have that right?
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 o'clock.
1 to 3.
1 o'clock. All right, so we'll be here at 1 o'clock tomorrow for a couple hours. In the meantime, we'll have Elliot Wolf a little later on Patriots.com and the Patriots app. So still more content coming on the Patriots social media and digital channels. But until then, we will talk to you tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Thanks for listening and watching.
Thank you for downloading this podcast. Subscribe on Apple, Google Play, and everywhere else you listen. Like the show, please rate and review us. Listener comments and ratings help keep us high in the podcast rankings so new listeners can find us. Be sure to check Patriots.com for more news and more podcasts.
The world's original podcast.